His club cricket started again, eh?
Right, hello everybody and welcome to Forever Cricket on Forever Sports. The SA20 is back. We've got a new presenter and
But an old face to the channel.
yeah, no, fair. You have done it before. I was going to say that's what I said. It's not your Forever Sports day. But BK, how are you?
I'm good, thanks. And you, Steve.
Yeah, always good. Right, so here we go. So we got Paarl Royals taking on JSK, Joburg Super Kings, who won the toss and elected to bat. And we're into the second over. Had a couple of technical difficulties getting going, but we should hopefully be all sorted now. And Beeks, interesting decision to bat first. It's pumping down in Paarl. It's supposed to be about 40 degrees, so it's going to be tough conditions. Got Reeza Hendricks and Jan Milan at the crease. Didn't get off to a particularly good start in the game in Durban. So what do you make of the decision to once again go back yourself and get yourself in and bat first?
I think you have to back yourself at the end of the day. Honestly, it's T20. Anyone can get in, hit the ground running. So I think that was the best decision for them. I think they have a stronger batting lineup than their bowling. So I think they're really putting themselves up to put on a big score here. But let's just see how the game progresses. I enjoy the bowling attack of the Paarl Royals. So it's going to be a good clash between the two teams.
Yeah, so in terms of some team news, big player back for Paarl Royals, Lungi Ngidi does play. Evan Jones as well coming into the side.
Good selection.
Yeah, still no space for Mitch Van Buren, which surprised me. And Dane Venus does keep his spot. And if you look at the Joburg Super Kings, a pretty similar 11. I think Elizabeth Williams has come in for Malusi Saboto, which is not particularly surprising, given how Saboto bowled on Wednesday. But two very good sides. And yeah, I think I like the fact that the Joburg Kings are backing himself. We're really off to a bit of a better start. I think they'd really lost Reeza Hendricks this time on Wednesday. Bloemfontein will continue. Oh, it's very straight. And Nolan's gone across the line. He's been given. I think he'll be in trouble, yeah. He's going to go to Reeza Hendricks and ask, but I think Reeza Hendricks might be telling him...
No, there's no point. You would think for someone that's so used to these conditions, he wouldn't really go for a shot like that, especially on his first ball.
Well, he's playing at his home ground,
yeah.
Milan. He plays for the Rocks, the GBet Rocks in regular. I think they have gone upstairs here, so... Joburg Super Kings, they had an absolute nightmare with reviews on Wednesday. They had a decision that was overturned when the Super Giants reviewed. They then reviewed one, and it got overturned. Well, it didn't get overturned rather when they're trying to get. So they not had a good history of reviews here, the Joburg Super Kings. Bloemfontein thinks he's got Jan Milan. And I think the only thing I don't even know what's going to help him out here is maybe impact outside the line, but he's missed it. It's hidden. We can see leg stuff. So this is probably impacting between middle and off, if not maybe middle.
Yeah, dead on middle.
I don't think. It's so far away from the bat. So this is definitely not an inside edge. I think this could be a pretty terrible review, to be honest.
I don't know why Reeza didn't advise him better. I think he has a reasonably good view to see that is basically heading in line with the state.
Yeah, and this is a Reeza review because the first thing he did was go over to Reeza Hendricks and say, well, what do you reckon?
Yeah.
He definitely he asked him. I think he wanted to see if Reeza was going to say something. So Reeza's definitely backed him to go up, but as we wait for ball tracking, and which always seems to take an absolute.
It's been horrible.
It's taken so long.
There's been run-out decisions that have taken minutes out of a game, which has been unnecessary.
Yeah. Right, so we go ball tracking. So impact outside off. It's impact.
Yeah.
It's crashing into middle and leg. That is a ridiculous review. That's the only way I can. That is ridiculous.
A bit harsh, but yes.
No, it's ridiculous. The impact, as I said, was between off and middle. They were all laughing at him. The Paarl Royals were laughing at him.
I hope this doesn't hurt his international look in the future.
What is up with the Gauteng sides and starting well? Yesterday your boys Troy Capitals down in too early.
I guess it's just we're relying too much on the middle order, which is probably a Proteas thing in general.
Yeah, true.
But now we've got the big hitter, someone that probably should be in the setup right now.
100%.
But as politics goes, it's unfortunately he isn't. But Bob Duplessis, we all know and love him. We all know him for many years of service, over 300 career T20 games.
8,200. I mean, that's mental. I mean, he is 1,800 runs short. He'll probably fall just short of 10,000 T20 runs. And he still has an average of 30, a strike of 131. I mean, the numbers are silly.
It's someone that started his international career late, and even getting just exposure overseas. He will definitely have something to say going into the rest of this tournament.
Yeah, and I think that he is, for me, the Joburg Super Kings' biggest asset.
Yeah.
As he managed to get off the mark first up there, just nudging onto the leg side. Yeah, I think his experience, his captaincy, as well as his batting, I think are, if he comes good this tournament, I think they could go a very long way.
I really wonder what.
Can't believe that review, to be honest. That's symbolic.
As bad as the shot selection, unfortunately.
Straight bat. The ball's nice and new. Straight bat. His head just comes down the park.
Oh,
it's gone straight up. I don't think there will be a man back, but I don't know how long this has gone. It's been taken. That's childish batting. And once again, Reza Hendricks, Jan Milan failing at the top of the order. Donovan Ferreira once again is going to have to probably play a blinder here. But
shot selection.
You've got to wonder about that. You really do. You've just lost a wicket. There's no need to go this hard.
Well, I mean, it's the standard T20 thing. If you're not hitting a boundary and over, it's immediate pressure onto the batting team. I mean, it's that shot.
It's dreadful.
I mean, he completely missed it.
And the sad thing is, I look at this Joburg Super Kings side, and I think they've got they've got top openers. Reza Hendricks, as you said, was before we went on stream, was sitting at 10th in the world rankings at one stage for his batting. Jan Milan has been brilliant, not necessarily as much in the T20, but certainly the ODI. It's been terrific for the Proteas, but they're both international players. They're both Proteas players.
It's a bit worrying, this.
And Carl Verheyen,
in-form batsman, we can say.
Yeah, one of the few people who scored some runs over in Australia. Very different format this now, and a very different situation that he does have.
I mean, he should be somewhat familiar to the pitch as well.
Yeah, Western Cape boy. Plays cricket for the Western Province. So will play plenty of cricket at Paarl during his career. 25 years old, 23 average, striker at 27, 47 matches. So wouldn't say that new into his T20 career. Not his preferred format.
Yeah.
Does prefer the longer formats, but I think these days you've got to be able to be a multi-format player.
Firstly, it's the only way to get some money.
Yeah, you got it in the bag. Fortin goes. He's gotten 2 in this over so far, and Verheyen once again just straight bat out to the deep. Yeah, I mean the only thing you will say is you think that Reza Hendricks would know, and it's just it just gets a bit wide. Actually, a bit of move, but a turn there.
No, sure.
Dave Miller's never going to drop a catch. So. Look, the one thing you would say is Reza Hendricks should know Bjorn Fortuin pretty well. Played a lot of cricket together at the Lions. But I mean, Stephen Fleming must be sitting there fuming. It's the second time where his side has been absolutely nowhere in the first couple of overs. See, trying to penetrate the gap. There's a good piece of fielding.
I must say, Paarl Royals probably have the best fielding unit in the competition.
Yeah, I mean, you got Jason Roy out there, you've got Dave Miller out there, Owen Morgan's a top-class fielder.
Butler's a keeper as well. I mean,
Butler's a proper keeper.
I mean, just 2 bad shots.
Yeah, and you just think. I understand the concept. Got to find balance and over, but you've lost a wicket in that over. Pick him up for 5. Try to run a couple of run a 2 or something. Try and get yourself to 6, 7 off the over. It doesn't have to necessarily be 12, because. Now, all of a sudden, once again, you got Lewis Gregory who coming before Donovan Ferreira, but they don't bat particularly deep.
Yeah.
Shepherd had a very nice cameo, but once you get to Garton, Joseph, Williams, Pangiso, there's not a lot of batting.
They're relying on the middle order again to build somewhat of a score to compete, right?
Yeah, and once again, Donovan Ferreira is a finisher. You want him coming in the 12th, 13th
Yeah.
over. You don't want him coming in the power play, which if they lose another 2 wickets, he will be.
Ngidi steaming in once again.
Yeah, Lungi, and he beats the outside edge of Faf du Plessis. It's brilliant with the ball. It's on a length, and it just rises quite steeply as well. I really rate Lungi as a T20 bowler. That slow ball of his.
He was South Africa's best T20 bowler last year. I think he took the most wickets, and I would even say his World Cup performances were good.
Yeah, I think between him and Amrit Nokia definitely were sort of the pick of the bowlers.
But Nokia's just fast now.
I mean that spell last night. I was having a conversation with Dan on stream, and we were trying to work out how much we'd have to pay to face it over from Amrit Nokia bowling at that, and we were talking 5-6 digits. And
Minimum.
Yeah, I went 6 digits very quickly, and then I started going basically 6 digits per delivery, like under lights.
Under light,
getting on.
Worry.
I want a bag. I want a mill.
Minimum. Just
Right, we got a review here. They reckon that there was a bit of an edge off Faf du Plessis' bat. Faf was pretty unmoved. He didn't seem too worried about it. Almost a half-hearted appeal. So actually almost quite surprised they decided to go up here. But this is such I think the biggest thing is the name that's there. I think if Carl Verheyen had done this, I don't think they would have been worried. But an opportunity to get Faf du Plessis early and have Joe Super Kings 9 for 3. I suppose you got to take it. I don't think there's much here, to be honest. It does drag back a hell of a lot. See a bit of a scramble scene there. I mean, that looks comfortably away. Does Butler appeal for this? Who's appealing for this? No, Butler didn't seem that interested.
Yeah.
I mean, there are kilometers. There are kilometers in between that ball and bat.
What did they hear?
And yeah, because it's not even like it was near a thigh pad or something.
No, what did they hear?
Maybe they just had to sit there saying, "Lungi, you don't seem it that much." There's no way to see me. That I mean, in terms of reviews, we've just seen the 2 worst reviews of the tournament.
As a wicketkeeper, you have to have a strong stance in saying, "Look, guys, we don't need to waste and review this early." As much as we want immediate pressure onto the batting side.
That was just that. Well, we've seen 2 reviews. They've each got a review, 1 review remaining, but those were terrible reviews. 9 for 2, going into the 3rd ball of the 4th over. Faf du Plessis playing miss once again. This is turning into a really good spell for Lungigidi. He's got none for 2 and 1.3, so really struggling to get him off. And once again, we're seeing, I mean, a power play performance like this puts you in the back foot, doesn't it?
Yeah, 100%. In a game like T20s, you want to be maximizing your opportunities, especially in the power play, to get boundaries. When you have a bad start, lose some early wickets, and it becomes a little bit of a dog show towards the end of the innings where you're just scrambling for runs. But let's see how the Super Kings go. I think if they can get these 2 batsmen settled. Very lucky shot there.
He's got out. He's out. He's out. He's out. He's out. Oh! Why can't we have nice things?
Shot selection has let him down once again.
This is ridiculous. This is absolutely ridiculous batting so far. JSK are 9 for 3. Faf du Plessis just been caught. Lungingidi gets the breakthrough.
I mean, I understand the pitch might be doing a lot, as we can see from both bowlers.
I don't think there's no way they're doing that much. And this he comes down the pitch, throws his hands at it. I mean, he's been caught down that deep 3rd man, which is the worst possible place really to be caught. Look what it means to Lungi.
He is absolutely excited with this. This is a great start by the Paarl. And that looks like Donovan Ferreira.
Yeah, Donovan Ferreira is going to have to try and play an even bigger part than what he did last time. I mean, if Faf du Plessis supported him last time, that is a dreadful start. Absolutely dreadful.
Well, if you're a batsman coming in now, what's your mindset? Do I
get to 10 overs, I suppose, at this rate?
But do you still attack? Do you counter attack now? Or?
Well, I think this is the problem. We had this problem. I mean, and this is the second time I've had to have this conversation about Joe Super Kings. Donovan Ferreira is known for his ball striking. Louis Gregory actually has come in.
Probably a good call.
Yeah, because the biggest problem as we were discussing is. You picked for a certain skill, you picked to do a certain thing, and that's what you're good at. So if the situation doesn't demand it, what do you do? You know, as I said,
Yeah,
if I mean, Luis Rui and I mean, these two have got to try and get through the power play, but also it's the
Ooh,
power play. I mean, you're
great
sitting
ball
on
by
almost
Lindsay.
10 runs at the end of the fourth over in the power play. I mean, I consider anything below 40 a bad power play.
Oh, yeah.
And they're well. I mean, they're gonna have to go 2020 to be able to get up to a decent power play at this rate.
I think they have to scrap away, any perspective of scoring big runs in the power play right now. I think the big focus is just rebuilding the innings. I think a lot of teams and batsmen forget that looking for opportunities to get one or two, just to slowly build your over. It goes very. Oh, another good ball by Lungi.
So you will just guide that down to third man. Continues to strike 10 for 3 after 4 overs. A dreadful start.
There's nothing wrong with taking ones and twos in the start of your innings. It's putting pressure onto the fielding side, especially with the one or two mistakes that they can make. And now, by chasing the big shots, by chasing the boundaries, they've just 10 for 3 in the fourth over.
Yeah, not a single boundary yet in the inning so far, and we've had 4 overs. I mean, we've had 24 deliveries, not a single. That's a sorry opening scorecard. And you think that Yana Milan, who's the Hedges factory, but see those are big players. Those aren't without being that player. Those aren't like the uncapped young players that we're kind of waiting to see what they can do. Those are big name players, all international quality. Yeah, all been around the block as well. And in fact, we see one of the best T20 players in the world. Rize Hendricks, one of the form players I mean, definitely the form batsman on the South African domestic circuit. Yana Milan, a top player there. He was nominated for World Player of the Year in the 50-over format just 2 years ago. But interesting to see where they go now. Lewis Gregory on strike. Bjorn Fontaine continues. There'll be another dot there, so can build up of dots as well. The Bjorn Fontaine, what a spell this has turned out to be. 2 wickets for 7 runs and 2.1.
I think what's quite interesting as well is that both bowlers have actually been bowling particularly quicker than they would normally. I've seen Lungi bowled about 3-4 balls that went over 140, which is a bit of a surprise. So maybe it's just the conditions of the pitch. Who knows? But as we look at the wickets here, there's poor shot selection all around. Much better there from Verena. 4 runs, and that's the first boundary of the end.
Finally, we got something small to celebrate.
But I mean, this is a very good shot because he didn't try to go hard at the bowler. He didn't try to force a shot out of it. He just simply went on the back foot and just punched it through. There's a lot of lessons that can be learned already at the start of this innings, and hopefully this is a good sign for the rest of the innings. Maybe these two can build a very good partnership. Again, 96. Very quick.
Yeah, I've seen quite a few, especially in power play, really coming darting them in. Nicely played there. The first one, and again, he hasn't overplayed that. He hasn't looked to overhit it. He's just got himself into a good position and picked a gap. And that's the whole point in a power play. You've got so many gaps. You've only got two fielders outside the ring. So there are certain scoring zones. You don't have to. And I think that's what, for me, Full Salt is still maybe wasn't the best in it, but it's almost been the most impressive in it because he didn't hit 1-6.
No, but he didn't take any risks.
Yeah, he didn't have to. Yeah, look, you got to be very lucky. I mean, you got quite a few outside edges, for example, and sometimes you got to ride that luck.
Oh,
and he's bowled him. I mean, what are they playing on? A snake pit out there. 16 for 4 after 5.
Did he not read the delivery? Did he not see it? I mean, it's another very quick ball. Again, 96 kilometers. This is an absolutely dreadful start here from the Joburg Super Kings. 16 for 4 after 5 overs. Just one boundary hit. And I don't think a single player scored over 10 runs.
Oh, the team's barely scored 10 runs. I mean, he just got straight through the gate there. I don't know what he's played for. Footweed is almost non-existent. Bjorn Fontaine is currently looking like... I mean, tell you what, if it doesn't have an IPL contract, I reckon they could draft him right now. He's taking 3 for 13 in 3 overs. Lewis Gregory goes for 2 from 5. Jonathan Pereira must be sitting there thinking,
I can't do it
again. I can't get a break. I mean, he's going to walk out 16 for 4. I mean, from here, anything above 130 would be a great target.
I mean, how do you rebuild this? I mean, I wonder what's going through his mind right now. He's in at 6 at the moment. Still one more over left in the power play as well.
Not happy. I'm not happy at. I still don't understand. Yeah.
Well, Donovan Ferreira comes in, former Tux boy, 24 years old.
Look at that average, eh? 28 matches. So still very early in his career, but he's got an average of 47 and a strike rate of 158. Those are disgusting numbers, aren't they? Those are numbers where you can't even comprehend how you can have numbers like that.
Lewis Gregory really just played a very bad ball there.
Right, looking at getting into the attack, Kyle Verreyn. Single off the first.
Well, they spend a lot of time facing each other in the net. Oh, Lungi pushing it through quite quickly, 141. Looks like Australia did a lot of good for him. And you can just see by the expressions on the bench.
I mean, on Mario Shepherd, he played a really nice cameo. He's going to have to play a massive role in this. And the frustrating thing as well is the fact that they've won the toss and they're batting first. They've gone to go bat first.
They backed themselves. They backed their batsmen.
And it's all just flipping falling apart. Right, I'm going to get into a second delivery of the last ball of the power play. Verreyn giving himself a bit of space. Drops it down. Just right of point. Right, scampers through for the single.
But this is good application from Verreyn as well. He's not forcing any shots. Very good footwork as well. You can see that the pitch is doing quite a bit. And he's actually trying to manipulate what he can do, in terms of his scoring areas.
Well, I think the biggest thing is he's not getting bogged down.
You don't know whether to say that was just a very good ball or if just Lewis Gregory just completely misread it. But, a wicket is a wicket at the end of the day. And Bjorn Fontaine is probably thinking, when's my Proteas call up? Where's my IPL contract?
Yeah, where's the money?
Where's
Show
the money?
me the money.
Yeah.
Right, and getting into his third delivery here. Ferreira, first one.
Oof.
No runs at the call, just squeezes it out to mid-wicket.
Look, he looks like he's enjoying himself out there.
And why wouldn't you? It's 40 degrees out there. It's hot. You're bowling well. You know always be able to play. You look at them. He's getting a lot of movement. You can see being out at edge. Then Fatu Masika starting to come down. He didn't touch one until he came down and he got an outside edge. Good grouping there from Lungi as well. Hitting a nice length, a nice line as well.
Hitting it quick as well. Hitting it hard into the deck. Ooh.
That's a bit of a steep one there as well.
Look, he's looking a bit small these days. I think he tried some in the past couple of years. I mean, the legs are still quite big. If they're engine through, but
I think the legs will always be big.
Two deliveries left and over. I think Donovan Ferreira is thinking I need to get at least some bats on board just to get my innings started.
Send him over the top. Hit a maximum.
Just double step him.
Back-to-back sixes. Let's try and send up. Off the pad, down the leg side. So another dot for Lungi and Gidi. I mean, we saw Unreal Care bowlers bowl for the ages yesterday. I think Lungi and Gidi's basically said, anything you could do, I can do better. I mean, 1 for 4 with one. I mean, at the absolute worst, it's 1 for 10 in 3 overs. I mean, what an opening spell this is from Lungi and Gidi.
Well, I think you can also give Bjorn Fontaine some credit as well. He put immediate pressure by getting those early 2 wickets. A little bit of a fielding change here. It's quite interesting. I would probably want to keep it a little bit more aggressive myself.
Right, Ferreira, none of 3 yet to go from Lungi. Last ball of the power play. And it's another play and miss. 1 for 4. That is an absolutely incredible opening spell.
I mean, probably the best spell we've seen, best power play spell we've seen in the tournament.
Yeah, and I mean this is a dread power play. It's a 17 for 4. The run rate less than 3 and over. And we were mentioning it's one thing to lose wickets, but to lose wickets and score no runs, it's. Yeah, I mean, if you're sitting at 50 for 4 after the power play, you're sitting there going, well, we've lost a lot of wickets, but we've got 50 runs. The pressure from them is still they're going to have to protect themselves. They can't afford to be aggressive with their field placing. Now they can be as aggressive as they want. I mean, you watch that Lewis Gregory has been bowled through the gate. just trying, and also going for a defensive shot. And that's frustrating. You know, he's just trying to play a block, and he's missed it. Right, Evan Jones into the attack.
It's quite interesting.
Was left out of the lineup last game, and I thought it was an interesting decision because I think he is a proper. He's got some proper pace about him, and he hit a very long. In fact, when you watch him bat, he's agricultural in the way he bats.
That's very true.
He hit a 4 in the One Day Cup final. When he ended up, he tried to go down. He got two steep on him, and he basically flat bats it like that, as if he was like wielding an axe. Before, it was the most ridiculous shot I've ever seen. Evan Jones, not a particularly long run up. And Varane just happy to just cut it out into the deep, into the sweeper. Yeah, and I mean, we're going to have to see probably a couple of overs of consolidation. I think the frustration is... And I think you need to take a look at Phil Salt, for example. You got to look at that one boundary and over, but don't underestimate the power of just rotating the strike, finding a couple of twos. You can run 4 singles and a 2, for example, or 2 twos and 4 singles, and get yourself to 8, 9 and over quite easily without having to take massive risks.
And it's not seen as a bad over.
No, exactly.
He didn't hit a boundary, but it's not seen as a bad over.
Well, Ferreira goes over the top, and he's found the gap as well. Bit of early aggression there from Donovan Ferreira.
But it's just good application. He's seen the field setting, and the shot was on. It wasn't forced.
It's no shot really. He knows where the gap is. For example, as well, he knew if you looked at that field place and there was nobody, no third man, so he knew this was going to be pretty straight. It's cross-seam delivery, comes down the crease and just picks it up.
Oh, very good shot.
Now a bit of a straight bat, and that should be a 2 at least. Only you're looking to cut it off, but they should be able to come back for 2 if they run well.
And
They do run 2, and all of a sudden that's 7 on the over.
They don't need to. Yes, they are falling behind, but right now they don't need to force any bad shots from themselves. They can look to just close off the over while and look to the next over. Who's next?
Yeah, I mean you go around 3 singles, for example, and you've got 10 of the over.
Yeah.
He drops that down.
And that's fine. He's not necessarily chasing the game. He's not trying to force any shots. Just trying to build an innings for himself here, and it's a saving job at the moment.
And you got to feel for the poor guy. He's been picked for his finishing abilities. He's a really big power hitter, and he's basically become a top order batsman. Jones goes and looks for the, and that's a pretty bad one down the leg. So it will have to be bowled again. Welcome runs there for the Joburg Super Kings, who've got an 8 off the over. I mean, they got 17 off the first 6, and they've got an 8 off this. So, not a good start here for Evan Jones.
I think a very underrated part of building an innings like this as well is forcing a bowler to make a mistake. He didn't have to bowl such a bad ball, but
he's bowled him,
and he's been absolutely clean. We just gave him credit for,
and again, you look at that shot. Why?
It is 25 for 5.
We're going to be opening beers at 3 o'clock, mate. Like, I was intending on having a couple on the stream. We're going to be able to have a couple of the games to be done. Do you think we can phone MRK and ask the games
to be pushed earlier?
They can get a 3 o'clock start to help us start, and we can be done with both games by 6. Well, he can't repeat his antics. Donovan Ferreira goes 6 off 8, and this is dreadful, it must be said, from the Super Kings. Absolutely dreadful.
I mean, sitting in the changing room now, what goes through your head? Do the bowlers prep for a massive bowling job? It can be done.
Yeah, but
the pitch is showing it can be done.
I think the problem is, what a ball, by the way. It just clips the top of the bat. But he's going, I mean, you look at the shot here and just think it's a bit unnecessary. He's trying to pick it up over and go over mid-wicket. You just think, just play it straight, keep it out. It's gone for 8 in the over.
Oh. There's nothing wrong with just blocking out that one ball.
Check it out, get to the next over. So now Romario Shepherd comes in. I thought he played brilliantly on Tuesday. It was a really good foil for Donovan Ferreira. He's got a high score of 72.
That's strike rate.
And that's what they're gonna need. That's what they're gonna need from Romario Shepherd. Look, T20 is a funny game. You need one person to really come off. So if him and Carl Varane come off, but these two have got to be there for at least 10 overs. And his first one he's done. He's picked it up. There should be nobody there. It'll go all the way as well.
Great shot.
And that's, you see, I mean, all of a sudden it's gone for 14 in that over. Terrible delivery, a gift really to Shepherd first up. And they've gone for 14 in the over. But also gone on forever though. I mean, they'd still look at it. And Evan Jones will probably still be quite happy with that over. It's pretty poorly bowled. I mean, he bangs it in short down the leg side, and Romario Shepherd just kind of helps it going over. Shamsi was out there, so you didn't have to worry about being caught either.
I mean, again, it's a shot that he knew that the fielder wasn't going to get anywhere close to, and he just played a very good shot. Didn't hit it too hard, didn't look to force it. If anything, he would have guided it and would have taken two. If anything, especially with Shamsi there. Interesting, 46 sixes already hit in this tournament.
Yeah, and they've been raining. They've been raining. And have you seen the 2 100 catches?
Oh,
they've been ridiculous. That one on Wednesday at Durban. Man just stands up with his weaker hand, puts the other hand, flicks it, doesn't even...
Thanks for coming.
We saw him on the phone very quickly. We all reckon he's on his lawyer talking about this and like, what's my marriage situation? Yeah. Media property, we in, we out. Right, and as if things couldn't get worse, Shamsi comes into the attack. Former #1 bowler in the world, best of 5 for 24. He can be expensive at times, but I reckon, this is exactly when you'd want to bowl. 31 for 5. Joburg Super Kings are reeling, and he's not going to have a chance to really attack them and try and force a wicket. He goes to Calverain. Misses his length first time, and Calverain will carve it out to but should be able to get back for 2 as well. Not the best delivery up for Shamsi. And I think this is a difficult time as JSK, because you want to go after the leg, you want to get him off his game. You start taking Shamsi up early,
and he loses his
and
head for the rest of the innings. Yeah,
but you're now sitting there thinking, well, I can't really go after him too much because I can't afford to go out. Calverain getting off strike there now, so Romario Shepherd will take strike. He currently sits on 6 off 1.
This is a little bit worrying. He's a new batsman coming in, not a recognised batsman as well. Known for his finishing, and to come in early this innings, I wonder how this matchup's going to go.
Yeah, and I think the biggest thing about Shepherd now is he probably needs to be going about 130 strike rate, but importantly has to stay in there as long as possible. And yeah, listen, they're having a chat to the spin bowling coach, and with Bjorn Fontaine sitting with 3 thing, I reckon he'd be thinking he's done his job pretty well. The beats the outside edge of Romario Shepherd. Looking to be quite cautious about that, gets himself into the back foot, just looking to try and nudge it onto the leg side and take the single. Missing everything there.
I suppose that's the big worry for him now. He's not really used to facing the leg.
Is it just here that this guy's helmet doesn't fit him? And I can't,
very uncomfortable.
I can't explain it. I can't explain why. It just looked like his helmet's far too small for him.
Or it's the wrong shape.
I don't know what it is about. It bothered me. He goes on to 1 foot there. He was quite comfortably pitching outside. It just doesn't look like it fits him. I don't know why.
I'm surprised he hasn't taken it off, to be honest. It's quite hard as well.
And I feel like he's got a very 90-degree peak. I don't know. It just doesn't look natural on his head.
As Shamsi comes in for another delivery.
Shamsi does bring out the sweep. He does miss it. Shamsi's appealing. He's gone up straight up, and Calverain's reviewed. He reviewed this instantly. I think he thinks he's gotten some bat on here, and for the Joburg Super Kings' sake, it has to be bat.
Did that pitch in line though? Look very close.
David doesn't look very chuffed with Shamsi. I don't know why. It was a strange interaction. It was a very quick decision from the umpire, but Calverain went up very quickly.
Did Shamsi pull a hammy? We're celebrating? No, man.
I think he has. That explains why Dave Miller's pretty upset.
Ooh,
Pitched in line.
yeah.
Ooh, I think he could be in trouble, yeah. I think he could be trouble, yeah. He went straight up. And does he go straight up because he sits there thinking I'm the last batsman, I have to go straight up? Do you think he genuinely thinks he gets the glove on this?
Looking good.
It's so far away. It's so far away.
Oh, no.
I think he's in trouble, yeah. I think he's in trouble, yeah.
Ooh,
Yeah, I think he thought pitching was out. This is, I hate using the word, but this is pathetic, isn't it?
Yeah.
At 35%. There's no other way to say it. Proud rain goes the last. We're now into the bowlers.
Oh, I mean, we see what he was trying to play, but
And then ook.
yep,
No,
found something there.
He's gone and done his hamstring celebrates.
Oh,
Dave
God.
Miller must be fuming.
I mean, do we start looking at how the Paarl Royals can, how quickly they can end off this game?
I would open with Shams here, though, right? You might as well.
Just to get him over and done with so he can get to the medics as soon as possible.
Dude,
as well.
Paarl guys are not going to make it past 8 o'clock. The fans are going to be finished. I mean, they're on the beers thinking, right, boys, we've got a steady start to the game here. It's T20. We're going to finish about 5 o'clock. Let's get it on a level, and then we'll go to the Pride. They're going to be sending it from 3 o'clock.
I mean, they're probably thinking, no, I need to get some drinks in before I go home.
I mean, the bars are going to make nothing tonight because nobody's going to be there. I tell you, if all the pubs and stuff in Paarl, I'd be opening. I'll be getting a happy hour.
Yeah, I'll be ready as well.
Quickly and say, right, boys, we'll start happy hour early. George Garton's got a best of 46, and that's what they're going to need. He's got 5 T20 30s, average of 18, strike rate of 142, but he's not a batsman at the end of the day.
No.
And I don't know what Shepherd now is batting with, basically virtually the tail. He has to score some runs here. And Frisco Adams comes into the attack first when he bowls it down leg.
This could be their opportunity to maybe just see things out as well. Frisco Adams, I must say, is not the strongest bowler that the Paarl Royals have, and they can't necessarily take advantage of what he has. But
Are you surprised he's playing?
of course,
Ahead of you've got Ober McCoy, you've got Cody Yusuf, for example, who's been dropped, but Frisco Adams has remained in the side. Shepherd there's the dot ball.
I mean, I can understand why they would want to play him. It goes back to a little bit of South African quota that you need to have into your sides. But, they have players on the bench that I believe are better than Frisco Adams. I've always been skeptical about him as a cricketer in this country, but let's see if he can actually surprise a couple of people during this tournament.
Frisco Adams goes to Shepherd. He's missed it. It's kept low, and that's going to be another one. This is just ridiculous. This is absolutely ridiculous.
I mean, some of the fans just look baffled. The Paarl Royals supporters are obviously up on their feet and very happy, but I mean, if you're just a cricket fan in general, you're going to look at the scorecard and say, with the batsman that you have here.
Listen, I've been trying to get Joburg Super Kings to send me a shirt. I'm going to have to jump on the Victoria Capitals.
I mean, it's almost like a nothing ball. It's gone straight on.
It just seems to keep very, I
Low,
think
yeah.
it's very low, yeah. And ironically, if there was ever something which might actually have been sliding down, it could have been that one, but no reviews, so Shepherd's going to have to go there. Should we go out tonight, seeing as we're going to be finished by like 3 o'clock? We could hit 4 hours of pre-drinks and it won't even be 7. Right, people, if you're in the comments, let us know what's good in the Joburg nightclub. We've got time to venture into anywhere, really.
I mean, if you're a Joburg Super King fan that was planning to go watch the game next week Tuesday, you must be a bit worried.
No, just make sure you got plans for afterwards.
Nice and early as well.
Don't cancel your dinner plan. You'll be able to do both at this rate.
And it's a big game, a derby game against the Pretoria Capitals as well. So they have to show up. And if you're the Pretoria Capitals watching this, you're thinking, Nukio's probably thinking, I cannot wait to get to the Wanderers and absolutely put it down at 150.
But this is the strange thing about T20 cricket. I mean, the Super Kings, they got to a bad start, but they pretty comfortably beat the Durban Super Giants in the end. And literally 2 days later, they signed themselves 36 for 7 down in Paarl, relying on George Garton and Azari Joseph and Lizard Williams and Aaron Pangiso to try and get them to some sort of a total.
I mean, I'll say one thing. Azari Josephs can hit a ball very, very far.
Yeah, but he's going to have to hit a lot of balls. Very, very far. Like a lot of balls as well. Like we're the 8.2 overs. We've got like 70 balls remaining. Can he hit 30 balls very far? He's going to have to.
I mean, he doesn't have much of a choice at the moment.
And the thing is, you then look at the Paarl Royals batting, and they're gonna send Josh Butler and Jason Roy up at front. Dave Miller in that lineup as well. It's yeah.
I mean, at this moment,
We've kind of run out of words really to
Yeah.
describe what's going on. To be perfectly honest,
I don't think we've seen this in a very long time, especially within the South
look, it's
African
not
context.
quite. Was it the Hurricanes or who?
Oh yeah,
Sydney Thunder, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah.
Yeah, he bowled off about 12. So it's not the worst T20 effort we've seen in the last couple of months, but this is very close to it. This has been absolutely dreadful
I mean,
from the Joburg Super Kings.
every team is lost for words at the moment. You can hear the fans who are absolutely ecstatic about what they're seeing right now.
I mean, look at that bowling card. Bring back Jones. I mean, Ngedi's bowled he bowled 15 dot balls. 15 dot balls. That's unbelievable.
I mean, he's just thinking, I'm back to my test bowl now.
There are T20 games with fewer than 15 dot balls.
If you're Frisco Adams, are you thinking I need to cash in now? This is where I'm going to make my money.
Yeah, if you're Frisco Adams, you're thinking, lucky I've taken a wicket. I'm getting it selected. I mean, Alzaro Jones has got an average of 14, a best of 29. You can get that best of 29, we're still not going to make 100. Down the leg there. Well, Alzaro Joseph will cash in, and that's a pretty poor delivery first up. He's clipped it off his pads. It'll run away. I mean, we've got two batsmen there who both had not faced the delivery before that. So Alzaro Joseph gets going. I thought he bowled tremendously on Wednesday. He's going to have to bowl exceptionally today. But first things first, they've got to find themselves to some sort of a total.
Please, well, now, if you're the Joburg Super Kings, who do you think you're going to open with now? The bowling, because now you have to attack, you have to go for it.
For me, it'll be Alzaro Joseph and I'll be interested to see if they go Reza Hendricks after the way he bowled, but could go Aaron Pangiso.
I mean, after what Fortain did, it's not the worst option.
That's the thing.
I think everyone's really lost for words right now at what they see. I mean, a run rate of 4.6.
I mean, how do you? I mean, I suppose the only thing that these two can try and do is just back the full 20 and accumulate along the way.
I mean, this is not like a test match, you know. It's not where you can build up your dot balls,
No.
and pick out your shots. It's
I mean, you look at it: 6 for 1, 7 for 2, 9 for 3, 16 for 4, 25 for 5, 35 for 6, 36 for 7.
and if you just look at the first, interesting to see that Donovan Ferreira is an Englishman and Lewis Gregory is
South African. Who knew? bloody English are really trying to steal our players. Right.
Do we take Lewis Gregory now?
No, not in place of Donovan Ferreira. Right, Adams finishing up there. 1 for 6 was that over there, and yeah, it's been criminal batting, it must be said, from the Joburg Super Kings. 41 for 7. I don't know what else we can really say about it, to be honest. It's just it's pathetic. But in terms of the forecast for the weekend, in terms of SA20, we will be seeing the MI Cape Town in action later against the Durban Super Giants. That is taking place at Newlands. Tomorrow we will have Troy Capitals in action. First home game for them. First game up in the Highfield against Sunrise Eastern Cape. Nice thing about the Joburg Super Kings, they go out again tomorrow.
Yeah.
Against MI Cape Town, which is a bit of a scary prospect right now, but maybe that's a good thing. You know, I think after this type of collapse, the worst thing you want is 3 or 4 days where you're not doing anything. To get out there immediately tomorrow might be a good thing. Interesting to see if they make any changes. I mean, if I'm sitting there as a top order batsman in that Joburg Super Kings squad, you know, I reckon Harry Brooke is a huge miss, for example.
Price is not playing.
Well, he's been pulled out, of course, by the ECB.
Oh, yes. Very
It's a
unfortunate.
big loss there, but right. So if you want Patain comes in to complete his spell, and Joseph just sort of plugs it onto the leg side, won't take over. I mean, we haven't. Yeah. As I said, there's not much we can hope to do. So we will be live tomorrow at this stage for the MI Cape Town versus Joburg Super Kings match. That was scheduled at 5:30. We won't be live on Sunday, but we will be back on Monday. So plenty of cricket to come. Lots of rugby streams as well this weekend. We'll be live for a lot of the Champions and Challenge Cups. So we'll see you guys then.
It's going to be quite busy for you this weekend.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, it's not going to be a quiet weekend by any stretch of the imagination.
Any chance for football? Not happening.
Yeah, there's Manchester Derby tomorrow.
Yeah.
I'm probably going to be missing something. I think it's rugby that will be doing it, but you get football's coming to the channel very soon. As we see, hopefully Garton begin what is going to be a long and industrious innings as he missed it.
Yeah.
And it wasn't really appeal, but well outside the leg stumps, and no issues there.
I mean, with some of the appeals that's happened during the tournament, I'm surprised they didn't maybe consider to take that upstairs.
Yeah, I've got to review that. Right, fourth delivery, pretty wide. Garton just cuts that away. Happy to take the single there. 9.4 overs gone, 43%. Still not even bringing the 50 up after 10 over. And well away from 50 as well.
I mean, as a coach now, what do you say to your players?
I think it's one of those games where it's been so bad, there's actually not much you can say.
So, yeah.
You know, I think it's you can't sit there saying, well, this is the technical issues. I think you literally have to say, you know, you almost have to just kind of brush it under the carpet and say, right, wasn't that day? Try and forget about it and try and go into the next game. Because if you want to try and analyze this game, there's just too much bad stuff. And that's a really well played shot from Alzarri Joseph. It'll just be the single, but he's managing to beat cover.
I mean, the only thing I can say that the batsmen, especially top order batsmen, can beat themselves on is just, you know, where have your basics gone? You know,
Yeah.
where has, you know, the consideration of how do we build in innings, how do we want to approach this game? Because clearly they didn't have really much of an intent to take on the bowlers at the start with the innings. You know, Forte, what a spell for him. I think he probably might not bowl better for the rest of the tournament, but I think it's just sealed his place. He could probably start every game.
Yeah, I think he's very much showing his worth, especially down this Paarl deck. I think the big thing is top order has to take responsibility. You know, this is now 2 top order fails. We've seen Reza Hendricks and now Milan go very early. Those two have to start taking responsibility. They're not young players. You know, they're in there to do a job and they're not doing it. Frisco Adams launches, I mean, that is a brilliant shot from Alzarri Joseph. Frisco Adams nailed that Yorker, but Joseph got his bat down so quickly and gone very straight. He will find the boundary. And Alzarri Joseph moves to 11, which I think at the moment, if I'm not mistaken, is joint top scorer with Carl Rain.
I mean, 2 boundaries hit, and I must say this is the pick of the bunch.
He's the first batsman so far to get to 2 boundaries. Is Alzarri Joseph. But if you want to know how bad this has gone for the Joburg Super Kings, right, Frisco Adams, more of a length ball. He's cut that away. Should be a 2 if they run hard. Yeah, I do get back for 2. So Alzarri Joseph goes on to 13, and with that is the highest score of the match so far.
And it takes them to 50.
And the Joburg Super Kings finally bring up their 50 after 10.2 overs. Yeah, stern discussions being had. Reza Hendricks looking pretty miserable with life. Arby Morkel scribbling a lot of notes, and it's probably just names and then dash and shit, really shit, proper shit.
How do I drop him?
Yeah. Can we go back to the auction? And he's got it's kept low,
Another one that's kept low for him.
And he's gone. Joseph, wow, just as he became the top scorer, goes 50 for 8.
Another wicket for
And we've got Lazard Williams coming in the 11th over.
And then who's next after him? Pangiso?
Aaron. Yeah. And don't ask who's after that. That's it.
You know, it also makes me think someone like Joe Kutsia that, you know, didn't play any parts in our test series. You know, he's sitting on the bench as well, probably thinking he can hold the bats as well.
Yeah, I mean,
been in the past.
And how ridiculous is that concept where you're thinking, right, well, do we have to start picking, you know, bowling all rounders so that they can hold the bat? I mean, Lewis Deploy, for example, middle order batsman, he must be thinking he's going to get a run. Neil Brandt must be thinking, well, I might get a run quite soon. Yeah, it's just bizarre to think that we're now looking at which batsmen can bowl and which bowlers can bat because the top order is just contributing nothing.
I mean, if they look back at the toss, do they say...
I mean, batsman number 10 is walking out in 11th over.
But now, if we look back at the toss, do they say this was a bad toss to win? You know?
Well, I suppose, you know, it's the age-old thing of, you know, you don't know what a pitch is like for both teams of batters, but at 50 for 8, you can't even make the pitch. You know,
No,
I think it's application. You know, it's poor shot selections, it's poor game management. It's just really poor batting.
I think, if anything, there's only been 2 wickets where we can put up our hands and say, that kept low. Unfortunately, he just misread it. But I think the first 5 is just.
Frisco Adams goes to Williams. He does bat in glasses, which never instills too much confidence in me. And Frisco Adams, we talked about the fact that he needed to perform today to be able to keep a spot. And 2 for 12. Safe to say he's done that.
Yeah.
But also, I mean, a word on Paarl was what a comeback this is after being pretty much outplayed, really. It's actually quite, it's actually chopped on, actually.
Yeah.
It's batted to pad into stumps. Goes around the wicket to Williams. He does survive the last. Right, 50 for 8. Sorry, it's 5 balls, 1 ball remaining. And Aaron Pangiso, yeah, I mean, I think the subs there are sitting. It's almost you don't want to smile, but you're very glad you're not part of this.
Yeah. I mean, there's Gerald there. He's probably thinking, just so much else out there.
I think he's probably sitting thinking, I'm quite happy being on this track. If you guys are going to do this, I'm quite happy to play no part of this.
Last ball of the over.
Right, Williams does survive.
If you're Adams there, why aren't you going for the Yorker?
I would be. I mean, it looks like he had said that he's expecting a length or a shorter delivery there. I think I'll definitely have fired in something quite full.
And Pangiso's probably thinking, I can't go out for a duck now.
Yeah.
Just makes my day worse.
He's sitting there thinking, I reckon I could top score here.
I've got a shot.
If I nick my way to 15, I reckon could be the Joe Super Kings man of the match here. I mean, if we go through this batting scorecard, 2, 4, 2, 11, 2, 6, 7, 1, 13, and none so far from Liz Williams.
And then you look at the strike rates as well. I mean, it's not even intent.
And that's the frustrating thing, it's a couple of silly shots, but if you're going to lose a lot of wickets, you've got to be accumulating runs. You look at that 11 from 10 from Carl Varane. If that's a 20 from 10, Reese Hendricks 4 from 11. If that's a 25 from 11, for example, if they did manage to really go for it and go caught in that, at least you're sitting on 90, 100 runs after 11.
And that's something to bowl at the end of the day.
Yeah.
That's what you need.
Get yourself to 120, 130. It's far too little, but if you do go and take enough wickets up front, you can build a bit of pressure. 50 for 8 with the likes of a Josh Butler, Jason Roy, Dave Miller, ought to come to bat. It's just, I mean, they're in trouble from the get-go here. Owen Morgan, Dane Vilas, Vian Lover, Evan Jones, Gordon Fontaine, they bat pretty deep as well.
Unless they get a good start to their innings as.
Well, that'd be a superb start innings. They'd have to, when we're looking at like a hat-trick type thing needed. You're going to have to try and get 2 or 3 in the first over.
Because there's absolutely no pressure on them now when they come in with that.
Well, that's been thrown his hands as that as Garson. Does get away for the single. Yeah, the only thing these two can do is try and bat another 8 overs. Just try and get there. And if they can accumulate 30, 40, I mean, the current run rate gets them to 91. And 91, I think if they handed you 91 right now, they'd bite your hand. 100%. 2 wickets in hand and 2 non-batsmen at the end. So I don't know how they're going to be able to do it, but they're going to have to. We're going to have to see proper test match application. Just stick around, just survive, find a few as Jones goes to his 3rd delivery.
It's good ball.
That's good running. That's good running. I like that. Lizard Williams has dropped in. He's called early to get through for the single.
And that's the intent that we were speaking about earlier on. Dropping the ball, taking that quick single, it puts the pressure onto the fielding side now.
Well, at the end of the day, every run counts, doesn't it? And,
I mean, especially when you're in a situation like this.
Yeah, exactly. So run your singles hard. You need every run you can, but just you can't take risks. I mean, they can't afford to play a shot over the top. Or try and clear the boundary. You can't. Evan Jones going to his 4th delivery, 1 for 16 so far. He has been quite expensive. And one other single they got, and happy to take a single in the ring. There's a bit of a shy. And 3 from the over so far.
I mean, it's another good run, Obviously, that risk of the run out, but, it's a good run to take, and especially in this.
Well, I think the biggest thing is you have to, dot balls have been the killer so far in and amongst the 8 wickets. So every run is a premium right now. Every run you can get helps that a little bit. Jones goes low. Goes over the head of Williams. Happy not to play it. He was never going to play it, I don't think. And it's been called a wide as well.
Very bad ball.
So a bonus run there as well.
I mean, surely as Jones, you're thinking, I need to attack the stumps. I need to try and get a wicket here. I don't think Williams is going to flash for a shot that's going by his head.
No, I don't think you're going to see Williams try and pull out a ball.
Yeah. So, it's a bad ball, but hopefully he changes in his last 2 balls. Much better.
Nice shot there from Williams. He'll scamper through for a single as well. 5 from the over.
See, and again, turning those dots into...
Turning his dots into
runs. Yeah. Just had a bit of a moment there.
55 for 8 after 11.5. Jones to try and finish his over. Yeah, he has been quite expensive, has Jones. Oh, he's chopped on. And you've got to think why. You've got to think why. You know, we've been talking about having to survive, having to just stay there.
Not taking on the bad shots.
And he's tried, he's gone short, and Gartner's tried to flash it away, and he's chopped on 55 for 9. We could be all out for 65, yeah. We're not going to be here for a long time, lads.
I don't think we were expecting a short stream today.
No, I'd settled in. I bought not beers, I'd eaten. I was like, right, I could settle in for a while now.
A poor shot. I mean, I understand him trying to go for it, but shot selection.
I mean, that change has been a revolving door. I mean, if I see one pair of gloves or pads out there drying, whose stuff is that? Who's got a 5-pound pair of gloves out there drying? The longest innings was 11 balls, and some guys got their kit out there drying. Now, come on, man.
I mean, we understand that it's hot, but it can't be that hot. And Aaron Pangiso coming in at number 11,
50, eh? And Aaron Pangiso 50 or like 40 balls.
I mean, he's backing himself, and why not?
I'll tell you why not.
I mean,
that is why not. It's got an average of 8.2, a best 29. Over 185 matches, he scored 304 runs. Aaron Pangiso can do many a thing. Bat is not part of that list, unfortunately. And it will be spinning to the action once again. So Vian Lover will get an opportunity. I mean, if not, why not?
Yeah, I was going to say.
You might as well just toss him on. Let's see what he can do. Tosses it up to Pangiso. He just negotiates it. Swap out the yellow for white. Let's have a 4-day match out there. See what we can, how long we can last. Now floats it up, and Pangiso puts over the top. I like that, taking on the bowler, trying to put a pressure back onto him for the single. Gets off the mark, which is... and there's been no ducks, ironically.
Yeah,
So... Well, so Williams actually went over the top. So Pangiso still not to go off strike. Could be the only one not to get duck if he were to go out here, but...
I mean, it's just been an absolute... It's just been a,
It's been a hammering. There's no way else to put it. It's been a thrashing. And Jonathan Ferreira continues to play for England, so the graphics guys having about as good a day as JSK, unfortunately.
I mean, and they've gotten the paycheck as well.
Right, Lover to Pangiso, who goes back and tries to cut it, almost missing the edge there. There's a slip in place as well, and I mean, you can do whatever you can set whatever field you want.
Yeah, honestly, I think right now, Liverpool can also ball whatever ball he really wants to. I'm surprised he's just not just steaming them in, targeting the stumps.
Yeah, 100%. So it goes to Pangiso. Pangiso gets off the mark. Right, so no ducks. But the only positive about this entire innings is that nobody will be departing with a big duck next to their name.
I think it will be a big fine for Liverpool if he doesn't get a wicket. And he is smiling.
Tabray Shamdi is sitting in the change room with all strapped up.
On that right hamstring of his.
How could you? I mean, no wonder Dave Miller.
And that's the end of Liverpool's over. It's going to be a fine for him at the end of the game. He's the only bowler that hasn't taken a wicket so far.
You are not wrong. You are not wrong. In fact, I'd be going after Evan Jones. I mean, in comparison, he's bowled pretty
Yeah.
ridiculously, honestly. I mean, you've got Lungengidi, he's bowled taken 1 wicket and gone 1.3. I mean, Evan Jones going for 9.5 and over. The next worst is Risco Evans with 6.
Yeah.
Vietnam was going for 2.4. Bjorn Patel went for 4. Shamsi went for 4. Well, Shamsi's done now.
Yeah.
So,
I suppose that's why he's in bowling now. We're on level.
we have to find some more sport to watch, Sarge. We have to watch that Hero Challenge golf. We have to. If anybody has any suggestions on what to watch, oh, that looks comfortable. That man is winning it like one of those sort of air beam bags. He's got a nice big wide brim.
He knew what he came for.
Yeah.
He knew what he came for. And
his son's busy complaining about how short his match is. He's telling him to shut up. He's trying to have a good time there.
He's probably wondering why I can't get him a beer, because he's sitting in the grass area with family. So.
Right, well, here comes Lungasani Ngidi. He's gone 1 for 4 in this third. I mean, they're going to finish him here.
What is that, 15 dots he has?
15 dots he did have. You don't need to worry about death bowler if you're not going to have any death to bowl. And this is just to wrap it up at the end of the day. I think it's a decision from Dave Miller. He goes to Lizard Williams. Williams hits it straight back at him. It's gone straight through the hands, I think, of Lungi, and it's actually sailed away for 4.
Yeah, it looks of it, it's quite a good shot.
I mean, in comparison, I'll tell you, it's actually, wave your flags, JSK fans, losing it. I think the two in the back are part of the, with the owners. They're like, no.
They're on the phone in the WhatsApp group right now.
Yeah, we bought the wrong. We need a new tactic. Yeah, gets there pretty early. It's pretty. I mean, it's well played. In fact, it does get a finger to it. Does looking giddy, but never really had any chance of catching that. So it's actually well played by Williams in the end. Move out to over the 60 mark. Now he does beat the outside edge.
Oh no, Joss.
Josh Butler's fumbled it. I don't think they're going to... have they run through for a single? Yeah, I like that. Bonus run, leg by, or by rather. Yep. So that goes against Josh Butler's record. And does beat the outside edge.
Very good ball, but
just cross seam delivery. And it just kind of dies on Josh Butler.
Oh, it didn't look like he was looking at the ball there, really.
No, you're taking a... Right, now Ngidi to Aaron Pangiso. Welcome Pangiso. Conjure up against the Paarl Royals Premier Seamer.
He must be looking at Cal Corner right now.
I don't even know what that was, to be honest. He almost looked like he moved his bat into the line of delivery after throwing it out. Yeah, I don't think Pangiso is going to be here for very long. If I'm Lizard Williams, I'll be taking a lot of strikes and just saying, right, well, let me see what I can do.
I mean, what is he now? He's probably the top 3 run scorers right now. So Shamsi's probably just sitting there saying, "Look, it's just a niggle, nothing."
No, Sham's thinking, "Listen, you guys have really transferred into the account. I've done my part. We've got another week, and then as Pangiso just guides it down to third man." Yeah, Shamsi's saying, "Listen, guys, I'll come. We've got that break where we're playing against England." I'll see you guys in February. I'm actually out for a bit. I'm going to take an extended holiday. If you need me, I'll be in my house in Pretoria.
Williams now probably thinking a couple of runs here, top run scorer, and maybe I grab a wicket here, I get man of the match for my side, and I call it a day.
Yeah, no, 100%. If I was him, I'd be coming down the pitch and just hammering Ngidi over the top for 6. Really, I mean, what if not, why not? Oh, he gets the thick edge. Well, there we go. If you're going to go hard at it. And it's run away for the boundary. And Williams goes to 12 or 10. He has a bit of a laugh there. That's ruined Ngidi's figures, really, so far. He's gone for 10 in the over with 1 ball remaining.
I mean, I think this makes now Williams the top run scorer.
No, I think he's 1 short. I think Ozori Joseph got to 13.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
I mean, him and Ozori Joseph are probably going to think now we have to open the bowling.
Well, and then they've been the pick of the batsman so far, which is...
something to say. Ngidi's probably a little bit livid right now, if anything. He's aiming to...
Full toss, and I'll tell you what, he almost dropped it on, actually.
I mean, in consideration, great bowling figures from Ngidi. Obviously, he's going to be disappointed about this last over, but great effort from him. He really started off the game very well for the side, and
I mean, he finishes with. I mean, even with that over, he's finishing with pretty impressive stats.
I mean, he got a very important wicket of Faf du Plessis. So.
Yeah, I mean, 4 overs, 1 for 13. The wicket of Faf du Plessis. He'll 18 dot balls. I think he'll be thinking very much job done. Vian Love will come back into the attack. Just 3 runs off his over.
He has another chance to get a wicket here. He surely can't end as the only bowler not to get a wicket.
All right, here we go. Lowest totals in T20 matches at Paarl. As it stands, this would be the lowest total. Former one was Cape Town Blitz against Paarl Rocks 2019. It was like about 80 odd, that's it there. I think it was
84.
84. There we go. So wow. Oh, a bit of a misfield there. I don't think they'll take the second. Dane Villas, who dropped the worst catch. Yeah, I mean it wouldn't look a miss on an under 9 field, unfortunately.
We've seen some pretty bad ones.
And that was right up there. And they did get back for the 2. So Dane Villas not having a particularly good time in this tournament. Cutting back Hines point there, looking giddy, was going to chase, but leaves it for Dane Villas. So this time picks it up cleanly. I'd love to see what this partnership actually. I think it's probably the highest partnership of the match so far.
Oh, surely not.
Right, here we go. Partnerships. This is 15, which is the high. With that run, it's the highest partnership of the match so far, beating that one between Garton and Joseph of 14.
And they give each other a little fist bump there. Very, very.
Yeah, congratulations, chaps. Highest partnership. Yeah, good job, good work. The biggest thing, we're into the 15th over. They are surviving, which I think is the main thing. And I think if they do survive until the end, they could get to that 100 mark. Yeah, looking to run hard as well. Now, commentators catching up to our chat already. I mean, you look at that worm and it's dreadful, isn't it? There's just so many consistent wickets all the time.
I mean, we have to give credit to the Paarl Royals.
No, they've bowled well. There's no doubt about it. They've been on it. They very rarely missed. They've had some really good deliveries. But you just look at some of the shot selections and just playing the situation that hasn't quite been there. Pangiso was sort of paddlers there for a dot. 1 ball remaining in the over. 4 from it so far.
Surely Bjorn was thinking, I need to get a wicket here before it's too late.
Before he gets taken off. Far too expensive, 4.2 almost. And they'll take another single there.
Very well negotiated there.
Well, after the 15th over, 5 overs remaining, 73 for 9. Yeah, I mean, look, they can stick around. It's a massive if, and even then, it won't be enough, I think, at the end of the day.
They're not getting above 100, unfortunately.
Yeah, but you've got to show a bit of fight with these two. These two have got to show a bit of application. So if the projected score is 97 at the current rate of 4 and over, and I think they would be happy with that. But if these two could get that, I think they would be pleasantly surprised with that. But User Hendricks, Faf du Plessis in his all yellows, not backing that he has to change it. I mean, it's difficult to really sum up what's going on here.
I mean, what can we really say? It looks like the crowd is enjoying themselves up there.
Well, I mean, one loss. The Super Kings kind of saying 73 for 9. The only people that are very bleak are anybody that's trying to catch a million, because that's definitely not happening. Good to see Magalo supporting the cricket there.
It's good to see quite a good crowd, and you've said this. It's been a good crowd so far all around, and this is exactly the advert that cricket needed in this country.
But this is, I mean, Friday afternoon, not much going on. Why not go out there to Paarl? You spend the afternoon watching cricket. You can be back with the evening. It's nice to the heart. Get a good tan going.
I mean, at this point, even the wine farms can think about it. Also,
yeah, well, they still be open when you guys finish. Frisco Adams into his 3rd over. He goes to Aaron Pangiso on 6 of 10. Pangiso straight bat. It's straight on to mid-off.
I mean, Pangiso's looked as good as about any batsman right now.
Look better than some, I know, yeah.
It's obviously very harsh to slate the batting performance we've seen here, but it just hasn't been great.
Yeah, no, it's not.
It's been worrying, to be honest. If anything.
Frisco Adams into a second to Van Pangiso. Pangiso, just drops it down. trying to find a way to just find those couple of singles, survive as long as possible, take this game to the last 2 overs, and then look at the end of the day as well. You got 1 wicket remaining, but get yourself to the 19th over and then try and tee off.
Yeah.
Go at 4-0 for the next 3. Get yourself to an 85, 89, and then tee off. And if you can edge your way to a couple of 4s, you can find a couple of 6s and get up to 100, 110. It's something. It's not. I mean, 150 I think was probably going to be the sort of more past score. Fix it off as late as Aaron Pungi still into the deep. They'll have to run hard, but they'll only have to settle for 1.
Jeez, I haven't seen him bat this well.
Looking at that, Shepherd just kept it a bit low for him. We're looking at Frisco Allen's wickets. And then Alzari Joseph also keeping it a little bit low, I think. So I think the pitch has misbehaved a little bit.
It's been a bit two-faced, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't think it's been it's certainly not a flat pitch, put it that way.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about the pitch has played its part. And the nice thing is, I think that these two, and for the example, you likes the Garden, will be watching this and being out there thinking, there's something here for us as well. We can also try and have a go. But Frisco Adams goes to fourth delivery, and another dot ball there. Zod Williams negotiate getting high on it and just playing straight back to the bowler.
I've never seen anyone practice, that high shot by holding the meat of the bat.
So if you look at it, 31% of the deliveries today have been on the short length, 54%. So 80% have been on the length or shorter. Only 50% really in the slot. Pick of the wickets, 2 in the short. Majority of them sort of in that on that length. Not too many in the Yorker regions. That is a Yorker though. Mr. Williams fixed it off his pads really well. He's running hard. I think they won 2. They'll have to settle for the single.
That makes him the highest scorer of the innings.
Yep, with 14.
It's been a hard watch for Joburg fans, it must be said. I mean, the kids coming out of school today will probably think you were going to catch a bit of, the back end of the innings here.
Incorrect. You'll catch the back end of the match.
They would probably think I need to get off school as soon as possible now. Ooh.
I don't know what you're pleading for there, mate. And they get through to the 16th over, 75 for 9.
Surely we're not taking this upstairs.
I don't even know if they've got a review. I think they do.
I think they have 1 left.
Jason, just choose your time out. Yeah, I'd love to.
JP Doomley has walked on there and he's thinking.
He's walked on there with a case of beer. He's walked on there with the lagers and the thing going, right, boys. And looking at Giddy tucking it.
Yeah.
He's bowled his 4. He's not bowling again today. He's not batting. He's saying, get the lagers cold. I'm on there. Jason always thinking, should I bat left-handed today to make it interesting?
Josh Butler's thinking, do I even need to get out there today? I can think of
Dave Miller's pushing himself further and further down the order. And I'd love to know what the message from Stephen Fleming. I mean, Stephen Fleming is definitely not walking out there, for example.
No.
He's just gone and told RB, listen, just go tell them to do whatever they want.
Just stay in. As long as you can. You've only got 5 overs.
I reckon they're probably playing a bit of a game out and they say, listen, ball falling apart, ladies and gentlemen. The studio has emulated the Joburg Super Kings result performance.
That was probably one of the scariest things I've seen.
How that didn't chip the glass.
Yeah.
I could have died.
I mean, the glass has put up more of a fight than the Joburg Super Kings.
Put the glass on the top of the order and they can really see what a bit of fight looks like.
Are we good there?
Well, we don't know. It's good until it's not at the end of the day.
Yeah, very true.
Right, 75 for 9.
I mean, where did it all go wrong?
Yeah, everywhere. I mean, it's a horrendous batting scorecard. It really is. It's inexcusable.
I think the worst shot is if any of the team has to watch the innings back, they're going to be hitting themselves in the head.
Well, at least they don't have to watch for long. The video analysis session won't take a while. It's not going to be a long session. As we do come back from, it looks like quite a breeze blowing down the pole, which will help. So apparently 40 degrees on the ground. We had Herschel Gibbs with his umbrella up earlier saying he has to protect the melon, which is fair enough, really.
I mean, he's probably thinking, I wish I could get out there.
Oh yeah.
I could probably, at my age, to put in a bit of a fight now. If you're a young fan, are you thinking, surely I can get a contract as well?
Yeah. You certainly.
Can I get a tryout?
Yeah, you're telling your parents to send you up to Joburg because Joburg Super Kings are definitely in the market for a couple of batsmen.
They send you straight to the Strikers Academy and hoping that you're getting an opportunity there.
Right, 4 overs remaining. What would be a best case scenario for the Joburg Super Kings?
Getting to 90 at least. I think if these two guys can just stay, I think staying in for at least the next 2 overs will be huge bonus. They probably know that they're gonna get after by the bowlers, but so far they've done well. They've stayed in. Pangiso's, respectfully has soaked up quite a lot of balls, but he's stayed in and he's done well.
Right, Villanova into his third. Commentators when they're saying they're going to get to 100, I think 100 is probably too far. But again, I suppose you get, if you can try and get 4 this over 4 the next, even 4 the next, try and get 12, get yourself up to 90, and then have a go in that last over. Yep, good running there. That's really good running. Pangiso called early, saw that it was Lungengidi. He's not going to be the quickest onto the ball. He does raise his hand as Lungengidi. I think he realised that there shouldn't have been a single there, but it was good awareness for Pangiso. He called early. Every run is a bonus right now. So, no, love it. Spinner to spinner. Pangiso just pays it off his pads.
Just negotiating it, I think that's fair enough. He knows he doesn't need to really chase anything right now.
No, once again, it's batting the innings.
Yeah.
As I said, you stay in there, you can try get up towards that 100 mark. Lover goes to Pangiso.
Ooh.
I don't know if that's an edge or not. It's beaten the bat. Put down by Joss Butler.
I mean, Joss hasn't looked bothered by any mistakes. Yeah. Very little mistakes that he's made, but any mistakes he's made.
Yeah, so projected score, the current one is 91. 8 and over gets them to 103. Well, a bit of a shot there from Pangiso. He's launched it down towards deep and on. So just get through for the single. Just 2 of the over so far with 1 ball remaining. I'd like to see Lazar Williams just, reverse sweep this or something. Might as well.
Does he have that in his arsenal?
It depends who you're asking. If you're asking the Joburg Super Kings batting coach, I think definitely not. If you were to ask him, I reckon he... Oh! He does it! And go the white!
And he's going to get 2 free runs out of that.
Oh, I called it.
I mean, take your opportunities.
I tell you what, I called it.
And I believe that's 4 off the over as well. I mean, as we said.
Things you love to see.
Very good shot. I mean, to get underneath it.
I'm gonna clip that. I'm gonna clip that. I think that is. I've called that.
That is world class. That is world class. I mean, just another look there at the batting scorecard. These two have put on a great partnership at the end. Kept their team in somewhat of a conversation to, get something to bowl at.
79 for 9 with 3 to come. And I think this is Evan Jones from the looks of it. That'll be steaming in. He does build a couple of loose balls. Oh, he's just guided it down the third man. There is protection, but he does get across there. Should just be... Oh, you get through for the second. Good running.
It's been a good innings by Pangiso so far.
I think the thing with Evan Jones is that he changed to banging it on a back of a length. So I think, if you can be disciplined enough to run it down to third man, for example. I don't think he's not going to go to the Yorker. No. So I think you don't have to really worry too much about getting yourself onto the front foot and keeping it out. But he's had a bad ball in each of his overs. So you wait for that ball. Once again, that's an edge and he's flashed at it. That is it, unfortunately. And we said it was going to be the back of a length there. And Pangiso, no foot movements. He's edged it out. JSK have been bundled out for 81. It's a disastrous performance from them. And unfortunately, not much we can really say about it. We will return after the break and see how Paarl ROYALS go about chasing down 89. Has been a pretty ordinary performance, must be said, from the Joburg Super Kings, who just never got going and lost by too many wickets early on. And we'll see you guys in a little bit. Right, hello everybody, and welcome back to the SA20. Not happy. Not happy is the word because JSK have fumbled their way to not a lot. Is the long and short of it, to be honest. The Paarl Royals have to chase a very silly 82 to win, and Jason Roy has come out and he's already hit a 4, which means that they're well ahead of the rate. The required run rate is 3.96, current rate is 12. George Garton does go to Roy. They've got to find early wickets, yeah, Beeks.
I mean, it's the only way. You can't rely on dot balls to save or salvage this innings or anything like that. It just has to be an absolutely impeccable bowling performance. But from the start of it, not looking too great.
But at the end of the day, it's not. It's wickets at the end of the day. It's not even just you have to bowl well, stuff like that. It's you've got to find wickets, and if you don't, you're not even in this. Unless you're sitting, you got to find 4 or 5 wickets in the power play for very little, and that's the only way you could stand a remote chance as Garton goes to Butler. Butler's first. It's a full toss, so he gets away with it. Missing his length there, trying to, I think, fire in the Yorker. It's not very likely.
The only problem is they don't want to leak too many runs because that's when they become desperate. They start forcing deliveries, fielding mistakes come through,
and it all compounds it, doesn't it? Because you can't set an aggressive field because you've got to spread take the runs. You've got no runs to work with. At the same time, you want to have an aggressive field because wickets is the order of the day.
Well, I mean, to a degree, I think. You don't have much to lose, so why not set quite an aggressive field?
Yeah, there's a slip and play. Looking to bend his back there and finishes with a dot there. So 5 off the first over.
I mean, it's a good first over. It's just unfortunate that there hasn't been a wicket in it.
Yeah. And yeah, as I said, wickets is the order of the day. So the interesting comes out probably Azari Joseph, unless they do go a spin early up. Herschel gives them the break, reckon that there's no demons in the pitch and that was just poor batting from the JSK. So I suppose we'll have to wait and see if it's true. But again, the only way you can begin to get into this game is if you get a couple of early wickets, just plant a seed of doubt and just say it's actually, try and make this pitch seem a lot harder than it is.
I mean,
the problem is they bat so deep.
Look at that. Top 6 speak for themselves already.
Yeah, I mean, all the way out onto 14, he still knows how to hold the bat.
Yeah. I mean, they're probably just thinking right now, we just have to make sure that we set ourselves.
Yeah.
As soon as you set ourselves, we're 2 off the total.
I mean, Butler and Roy stayed there 10 overs. The game's done already.
Yeah.
Probably not even 10 overs, to be honest. You don't have to bat particularly well to get the bonus point. They probably have to get within about 12 overs. I mean, the equation is 77 runs and 114 balls. So
this is Lizard William. Oh
no,
no,
Azari Joseph comes in.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a good ball first up. Bit of tail towards the end of that delivery as he goes quite wide there. Jason Roy going pretty hard. I was very impressed with Azari Joseph on Wednesday. Didn't start particularly well. It was quite expensive early up, but towards the last stage of the innings was sublime.
I mean, look, he's still relatively new into the scene. Only 70 matches played at 26. Yes, West Indians do play a lot of T20 cricket and cricket themselves, but he does have that ability to change a game. Yes, he does leak quite a lot of runs, but a best day of 6 for 12, it's an indication of how tight he can keep it.
You could use that.
It was a very
Goes
good
pretty
ball,
straight there. Jason Roy just pinging it straight to factory to see. So no runs so far on this over.
At the same time, it's not a bad thing that he starts to accumulate these dot balls as well. Yes, they don't have much to chase, but at the same time, it's just that pressure back into the batsman into reacting, doing something about it. Because you don't want maidens in the T20 as well. That's probably the worst thing to have. So it's a very good start, and I think Joseph he's up for the challenge.
No, Joseph does go, and he does go down the track, trying to pull him there, missing out completely, does Roy. And already we're seeing a bit of a loose shot, wants to try and feel bat on ball. I think at the end of the day, Jason Roy knows one way to play.
That's just a question. I mean, here's some highlights from the other night. I mean, like you said, did start off quite expensive, but the 2 wickets towards the end, did them very well. So grab there.
I got to Wayne Pretorius, which is an important wicket there as well. So, yeah, so halfway through the over here. Jason Roy doing a bit of gardening.
How do you feel about Pretorius's retirement?
I think it's a massive loss. I think a lot of people are saying it's nothing too big. I think it's our best white ball rounded by a country mile. Always been a big fan of him. Yeah, can bowl up front, can bowl the depth, and a very handy batsman.
Yeah.
I think we don't have any obvious replacements, which is what worries me. I think any sort of replacement that comes in is a step down, and whenever that's the case, you need to worry. Joseph goes to his fourth delivery here.
Another good ball there. Ooh.
Looking pretty good so far. So 4 dot balls in the over.
I mean, this is very good bowling by him. He's come out with the right intentions, just attacking the stumps, going straight on and, restricting Jason Roy to, get any runs.
Yeah, I've got to find a wicket at the end of the day. You find a wicket now and you think it's a great over, 5 for 1 that we chucked with that start. I think Jason Roy getting a bit frustrated. He hasn't managed to get anything off through the inner ring so far, so I reckon we could see quite a hard shot coming here. I reckon he'll look to release. He's a player that only knows how to play one way. And just drops it down, looks to scamper through for the single. Could be run out of chance with a bit of fielding, but missing the pickup there.
Is that a little bit of an injury there?
I think it's Emma Milan who stayed down there a bit.
I think he'll be fine there. I mean, great effort to try get to the ball. It's just very good running as well between the two Englishmen. Ooh,
yeah, I think
just a bad landing.
Yeah, I think a good pickup and a good throw. I think he could be out there. I think he lands on the ball. Yeah. Yeah, that's the issue. Well, you know how you prevent that? You get the ball in the first go. BK has opened a beer. It's not even 3:30 yet.
They're a better time than now.
I was hoping we were going to be cheersing a good Joburg Super Kings innings. Not to be. And Josh Butler just putting it down. So just one off the over. It's a good start there from Azari Joseph, must be said. No real sort of chances, so to speak, but 6 for none after 2. I reckon they're actually behind the required run rate. They are behind the required run rate.
Just more of this for the next couple of overs,
100%.
and it's game on.
Yeah, the ESPN quick win probability says Paarl was 98.55%. But I reckon that's actually come down a little bit.
There's a couple of percentages there.
So
looks like a balting out there in Paarl. It's normally dry out there as well, so it's just scorching temperatures.
Right, so interesting to see that we're going to stick with Garton, or we will see maybe spin coming in.
I think maybe just consistency they're going to be running with. I think Garton will stay on. If anything, Lewis Gregory would come in.
Yeah, Garton does come on. He picks him over the top. That should be cut off. In the deep there, I think it's Pereira who cuts that out. They can get through back to the second. Garton going nice and full early on.
I mean, I think that's... I see what he's trying to do there, but at the same time, I think he needs to be looking for better lengths and lines to try and get wickets. Jason Roy is always going to get onto anything going on leg side, and I think his weakness, as he's shown over the past couple of months to 2 years.
And now it's straight into the slot. That's really poor from Garson. He's given him a little bit of width. He's banked it in full, and Jason Roy's helped himself to a boundary that's gone steaming through the covers.
I was going to say anything, a bit short with a little bit of length he struggled with, and, Garson just put on the silver platter for him.
That's straight into the slot. It's wide. It's going across him. Jason Roy could throw his hands there. Not too much foot movement there. Didn't need it. It's a huge gap as well. So pretty poor ball in the end by Garton. It's a freebie to the likes of a Jason Roy.
No, better delivery there. I think that's what he was searching for.
Yeah, I think slightly fuller there. So it's not. And Roy expecting the delivery there. 129 kilometers an hour. It's not rapid.
Not at all. I mean, to be fair, the bowling attack, you wouldn't really say it's particularly pacey, scary. It's more reliant on their skills.
Yeah, Azari Joseph's probably the only one that can really sort of... I mean, I think Garton can get up to a reasonable pace, but we're not talking unwritten Nokia here. Gerald Kutsia, probably he is that proper pacey player I think we'll start to see when they go to the high field. Be interested to see if they might get him a go at the New Year's track. And Garton going short. Ooh. Is there a man up there? There is a man up there!
Weakness.
Jason Roy does go. Garton gets his man. He bangs it in short. The first real sort of a hostile delivery. Jason Roy can't help himself. He tries to just, guide it down to third man, and he gets it far too square, and the catch is completed. Early breakthrough for the Joburg Super Kings. Paarl was 12 for 1.
brilliant wicket, to be fair. And, you know, he target his weakness. You know, as I've said, he's shown over the past couple of months he hasn't handled anything short. And this is just a very nice example. You know, he looked very uncomfortable under the ball.
Field didn't have to move. It's a good catch in the end by Shepherd. Didn't have to do too much, too fair. It's straight down his throat. But a good start. Good start. And Jason Roy struggles, and T20 cricket does continue.
Unfortunately, yeah. He's probably kicking himself, thinking this was my tournament I was supposed to come back to, and he hasn't had a great start.
Yeah, and you think in a game like this, where he's actually got a bit of time, he doesn't have to rush. This should really have been a good opportunity for him to get himself some form. Go and get a 30 or 25. You don't have to be anything rapid, but go and get yourself. Go eat up a few deliveries. Get used to the conditions. Face it. You know, get ball and bat.
You know, I must say now, with the amount of balls that he's faced, Butler's only faced 3 balls. You know, Jason Roy soaked up most of the deliveries so far this inning. So this could be a very nice opportunity for Garden to maybe just look into grabbing another wicket here. And Vion Liver coming in can be explosive. You know, 73 matches, lovely strike rate of 130, and he's got a very nice sort of record there. So
your left-hand right-hand combination now as well. So your left arm seam now to the left-handed batsman of Vian Lover. 2 balls remaining, and look, he went at the top of the order. Did Vian in the first game on Tuesday? Didn't look particularly comfortable. Wasn't his best effort. So yeah, I think, you know, in terms of confidence, not sky high. And I think Garton, if he can get him out early here, try and put a bit of pressure back on Paarl, get Dave Miller out here as well.
I love this field, nice and aggressive.
Yeah, it's a brilliant delivery at first up as well. Just back of a lane. He does take off. Speed 131 kilometers per hour.
I suppose the only thing now for the Paarl Royals is just to keep their heads.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. The worst thing they can possibly do is to try and overcomplicate things. At the end of the day, it's a very straightforward chase.
Less than a run the ball chase, you know.
Yeah,
it should be comfortable.
Yeah, and no need to play a lot of shots, and that's gone straight down the ground, and that will be 4. It's a great shot for the Lover. It's a very vacant region, so straight Yorker, straight and full, not the best delivery when that region is open, and Viet Lover very much equal to the task.
This is what I was just saying about leaking too many runs. Like, yes, you know, they've got a wicket down, but, you know, after 3 overs, they already have 16 runs, and you're looking at the perspective of the game, you don't really want them to be scoring that much, especially at this early stage.
Again, you got to try and sort of blend that it wants to have an aggressive field with having to try and protect the regions. And I just think, you know, straight and full to the left-hander, massive gap there on the straight. It wasn't the ball to ball to that field. Almost wonder if it's a case of a double bluff.
I mean, look at that batting to come with, you know.
No, I mean they're back down to Bjorn Fontaine. He's coming in at 9, so there'd have to be something really silly to Paarl Royals to make this a game. Lazard Williams, kitty customer.
Quite interesting, don't you think? Joseph didn't do anything wrong in his first over.
No, they're trying something different, and you wonder if this is not a plan potentially. Interesting bird, Lazard Williams. As I said, a bit of a skiddy customer, not too tall. Sometimes sort of skids on a little bit. Some people saying he almost be deceptively fast, but doesn't bowl rockets.
He gets his wickets though.
And he's searching one. Goes to get to Butler, brings it short, and Butler just pulls that away. Really, really. I mean, in the power play, that's a gimme.
Especially
it's an absolute gimme. First ball, it's back of a length. It's not particularly short. It's not full. It's a bit of a nothing length, really. And Butler can just pull that so easy to the boundary. That's a gimme.
I mean, they're already a quarter of the way there to the target, so it's.
It's getting up to shoulder height, so it wasn't really gonna ever bother Josh Butler, who's very good in the short ball anyway.
Let's see if we can come back here. Much better
this time. Josh Butler just getting into the line of the ball and just nudging out to the mid-wicket region.
I mean, now, as Williams, you probably think, I just need to see off this over at the moment. I haven't had the greatest start, and, you know, captain's probably a little bit worried about his decision now, but, you know,
he will be
going the risk that you take.
Yeah, going to be 11 out to the left-hander.
Very interesting that he's coming from.
I think it looks like I think he is coming around the wicket.
Very interesting decision. I think if anything, he's just trying to be safe. He's trying to play into the batsman.
Again, he looks to be very aggressive, and he's beaten the inner ring. That'll right all the way. He's gotten across, and he's actually almost sort of punched that from outside of the leg stump, and it's gone past mid on there with Faf du Plessis not managed to get across.
Just hasn't been a good start.
No,
just
hasn't. Best start. It's nine off the first three. They're already a quarter of the way there. And some, to be honest. They are.
They are, yeah.
61 of 100 is the equation. 57 of 99 now. Josh Butler Josh Butler was looking pretty comfortable. Vian Lover's come in and hit 2 fours in 2 balls.
He looks very comfortable as well. I mean, Jason Roy is probably kicking himself saying, why couldn't I just stay in?
Right, here he goes. Once again around the wicket. Look, Faf du Plessis looks a bit closer. Oh, it's gone straight up. Is somebody going to be able to get there? Oh, it's going to land safe. Faf du Plessis not managed to get in there. That would have been a huge moment in the game. Well, not really, but...
I mean, when it's not your day, it's not your day. I mean, it's just unfortunate that Faf wasn't closer to the delivery there. As you said, he did move closer to Williams there to try and close off that straight, and it's just unfortunate that as he does, that the ball would have landed in the
it's a no ball.
Oh,
I mean, just sack him now. Cannot be bowling a no ball at this stage.
Oh, it just goes from bad to worse. And he had just bowled a very good delivery and a wicket-taking opportunity, and now he's just ruined it. Do you think Faf is planning over planning or losing effort at the start of it now? It's already 10 runs.
I think at the end of the day, you got to use it as a training session. I think you got to be able to sit there saying, right, let's see if we can execute some plans. What do we want to do? This is the ball I want you to bowl. This is how I want you to go about it. And I think he's going to say to his bowlers, right, let's see if you can execute a plan. Show me that you've got the control to execute what I wanted you to do. And he goes straight over the top, does Josh Buck. Doesn't get all of that, so it'll just be a single. So a bit of a let off there for Williams, who's gone for 11 in 4 deliveries so far. So just the worst possible over from a Joburg Super Kings perspective. Unfortunately,
just so far hasn't really gone well. It was a bonus to get that wicket nice and early, and they were probably thinking, yes, maybe we're looking to be a little bit into the game. But then from there, it's just fallen a little bit apart with Williams over so far. 12 runs off it. I mean, it's a little bit of a worry now. 28 for 1. Can only hope for, some fireworks.
Williams to Lover. Oh, beats the outside edge. It's a good delivery.
Very good.
Gets past. Being Lover almost a little bit hesitant in that, in trying to go forward there. So
not much bounce there. 141 Ks. It wasn't really rising.
There's pace off as well.
It came through quite nicely. To be fair, what kind of pitch do we call this? Is it batting, bowling?
I think there definitely seems to be something in it. Although I mean, hasn't really troubled our roles so far. I mean, that Jason Roy, for example, it was a bit of a gift. Just guided it straight down the third man's throat. So yeah, so far we definitely haven't seen the demons we thought we were seeing in the Joburg Super Kings innings in the first 4 overs. Paarl sitting 28 for 1. Not a great over there from Williams. Released a lot of the pressure. They were just 16 for 1 after 3.
Did Herschel have a point? Does this pitch have no demons? And this is just flatten out with the heats throughout the day as well, and the roller that's just come through. So
yeah, look, as I said, I think to put it on the pitches is far too simple. I think they are pretty dreadful. It was pretty dreadful batting performance from the Joburg Super Kings, and we can't really. You can't really blame the pitch on that. I think it was just really, really poor.
Poor shot selection.
Yeah.
Bad application. And the crowd is thinking, geez, where are we going to go after this? We've got about 20 minutes left of this.
The after party. You'd have to go to a party before the after party.
The pre's before the pre's.
Yeah, the pre-drinks for the pre-drinks. Right, as Larry Joseph, a change of ends. Will be coming to the same end that Gart has been going. So they've kept pace on the entire power play.
Interesting
Going
decision.
to Butler. And pretty straight. And that's the man out there, which I very much doubted. He started off with the boundary, very straight, missed his length as well, and Butler's just picked him off his pads out to that vacant square leg region for a boundary. And then once again, a boundary with the first ball of the over, pressure all the back onto the bowler.
And at this point, what more can Ozori Josephs do for the rest of the over? If anything, he's just going to make sure that he doesn't leak any more boundaries, but at the same time, he has to try to keep it tight. That's a very good shot there by Joss Butler.
Yeah, it's a pickup, but I mean, he's so strong there as well.
Yeah.
He's a bit of a 360 batsman, but Joss, but he has very few weaknesses. Moves into 10 or 7, not going rapidly, but it's just waiting for the bad balls and then putting them away.
I mean, that's what you really need to do.
100%. Right, Joseph the second. Gets it much fuller this time, almost a bit of an inside edge.
Oh, got to stop the 2 there, guys. Come on.
And he stayed down, actually, the person who was running after it. I'm not sure who it was.
Ooh.
It's Jan Milan once again.
It's a bit of a worry now, isn't that? Looks like it's its hand this time, at least. At least it's not the legs where you were struggling earlier.
Let's see what happens here. That was good early call there. And Jan Milan just sliding onto...
Ooh.
I don't know if you caught the SA20 banner there or what the story was.
Would be interesting. Looks like a bit of a stoppage here. Could be a problem for Milan. Might have to go off.
Right, so we go. Joseph going into his third delivery. 34 for 1 is helping stand. Target of 82. Once again, he's dropped it down. He just camped it for the singles. So, yeah, very easy. Must be said for the Paarl Royals. And it doesn't have to be anything complicated. 7 off the over already. They're so far ahead of the rate. I mean, they're going at 7.84 and the quad run rate 3.
Yeah. I mean, look, are they looking to wrap this up as soon as possible? Or
yeah, I reckon they're looking and saying, right, by 10 overs, this needs to be done.
Yeah. I mean, that's fair, and it's a good aggressive approach to make. I mean, they don't want to make a meal out of this.
Well, it's a bonus point that has to be, at the end of the day, you don't get the bonus point, you've missed out the match opportunity.
And it's probably a bonus point when they weren't even expecting.
Yeah, so they've got to get there in 16 overs. So,
yeah.
But I reckon they'll tell themselves, just try and do... Oh, that's a nice delivery. Although Joseph, a bit of aggression there. Goes nice and short, has a bit of a stare at Vian Libo as well.
Yeah, Libo definitely wasn't expecting that. Lovely delivery there by Ozori Joseph.
Yeah, Vian Libo very, very uncomfortable under that. The hands were still there. He got down very quickly. Yeah, didn't play that well at all. Didn't drop his hands. Survives. It's a perfect bounce from Ozori Joseph.
Let's see what he has for us next in his second last delivery of the over.
And this one's just too straight. Needs to get down.
Ooh.
It's a half stop there. It's good work in the end. Man from the deep will come and it's Garten there with the throw. I think they will get Garten there for the second.
Run save there. So good fielding effort by, I think that was Nazard Williams out there, wasn't it?
Ryan Shepherd is who they're focusing on.
Okay,
so
yeah.
I reckon probably might see him get a ball as well. Very interesting to see. They're still having... Yeah, it's good effort in the end.
Very well done by. Last ball here of the over. I'm sorry, Joseph's probably just looking to see this out or maybe just grab a wicket. Ooh. Good aggression there by Ozori Joseph.
Yeah, had a bit of a worse to Vian Labo as well.
Nothing wrong with that. It might be a losing effort, but, not backing down is a very big thing.
Well, I think you have to try and impose yourself at the end of the day. You're the premier bowler. Vian Labo telling him to go back and bowl. Ozori Joseph, talk about international quality. He needs to try and assert himself here.
I mean, he has international experience in this format all around the world.
Plenty. I mean, he's played close on 100 international games for the West Indies.
And he also came in quite a transitional period for the West Indies as well. They'd lost all their big name overseas players through, the wage disputes that were happening that side, which was very sad to see. But it's allowed someone like him to come to the system and actually perform very well. I think the first time I saw him was in the BBL. And I thought, geez, another West Indian fast. Oh, right.
Speaking of West Indies, Shepherd comes into bowl. His first... he gets down to 135 there, bangs it in short, and Butler managing to get through for the single, bringing Vian Labo back onto strike.
There's a lot of experience and a lot of T20 experience in this Joburg Super Kings just wonder what went wrong for them.
Yeah, Mario Shepherd, I mean, he's played, 68 T20 matches before. He's played 23 T20 internationals, 18 one-days. He's played a lot of cricket.
Not much of a globetrotters per se. I think he's done IPL. I think his second competition here probably has done local.
Yeah, I think he overplayed CPL. I think he might have played in Pakistan Super League potentially.
Oh, and that's
and
just a
gone
very
straight
bad
over.
ball.
Yeah, he banged it in short, and Lubber's just gotten out of the way and helped us. It's been too easy, hasn't it?
I mean, too many bad balls at the end of the day. They were probably looking for a tighter start than this, just hitting the ball hard into the wicket and trying to maybe create a couple of mistakes from the batsman, but it just hasn't worked out. Oh, you can just see it was just dragged down leg. All Vian Luba had to do was guide it down, just 3 runs there. Commentators here talking about a captain's chat towards these bowlers. I mean, it's very tough to have at this present moment of time. Really under the pump. Only 40 runs to get now. 5 overs, into the innings.
Right, and banks it in. And Lubber not managed to get that away. Lubber 15-11. Looked at it from all sorts on Tuesday. Looking a bit more comfortable today. How is it? A little bit what Jason Roy missed. How important is this when you've got an opportunity, no pressure on, just go out and get a feel for it and just get yourself into a bit of a rhythm here?
I mean, if anything, the only thing he's thinking is, I just want to make sure I have my game intact. I don't want to try anything that I haven't before. I just want to make sure that I stay in form, I get my eye in, I get the runs that I need to, because at the end of the day, that's what the team needs. They need that figurehead at the top of the innings.
Goes over the top, does Lubber. Nobody out there
shot.
as well, so very comfortable boundary. He moves on to 19 of 12, looking very confident. A bit of a release shot as well. Just still 2 balls left in the power play, and I mean, this power play effort's taking the game away. I mean, if one more boundary, they move to 50. They need just 36, to be honest. It's far too easy. I mean, it was always going to be an easy chase, and Vietnam looks in good nick. Josh Butler up in his fluence himself, but has allowed Vietnam a little bit of freedom.
I think if anything, the fans will just be disappointed about the lack of sixes that they.
No chances really for the catcher Mill. He goes again,
loose shot.
And he spooned it straight to Azari Joseph.
I think Shepherd would be very happy to have won that battle there. I mean, he's been under the pump this over, and just a cherry on top of the cake. For him now.
T20 Globetrotters and their bobs, dude.
I mean, when money's good.
Money's good. Actually eating well.
Loose shot there by Real.
Trying to do the same thing. He's just threw the shot and it spirals to Azari Joseph. It's a very simple catch in the end. Job done, really, though. Must be said from Vietnam, number 19 or 13.
I mean, that's all he had to do.
That's all they needed, really. Striker of 140 yard. And interesting to see here. No, I don't think David will actually bat today. I think he'll be very, very happy to send a couple of players in ahead of him.
I'm sure Butler would have loved to do the same thing, though.
Yeah, I think Dave Miller's probably coming into the crease here now to get some time in the middle. I don't think Dave Miller's in a rush to get out there. He knows the form he's in. He knows what he needs to do. He doesn't really need the practice. It is Dave Miller's that he does walk out.
I mean, it's very good for him as well. I think he needs some time out in the middle as well. I think there's been a lot spoken about his abilities to maybe potentially get an international call-up, maybe a couple of more T20 contracts around the world, but he hasn't really shown that, and hopefully, just to see out this game with Josh Butler will probably be something he's targeting, and he'll probably be hoping for just to stay in.
Well, I don't think he should be in the team. I don't. I think he's got an all right.
I mean, 200 matches.
No, 100%. Plenty of experience, quality player, very experienced. He's 38 years old, 37 years old. But there's somebody whose name is Mitch van Buren, who is, for me, the heir to the Dave Miller throne in terrific form, who should be occupying that 5 spot.
He's probably kicking himself that he's not in.
Well, this is the thing. I just don't understand why you'd be leaving out one of the hottest prospects in South African domestic cricket right now.
It's probably. I wonder if he's going to probably get more opportunities out in the high fault. Probably what he's more familiar with, and maybe look to take advantage. Probably take Dame Villa's spot when traveling up. As you can just see here from the replays in the power play, you know, the wickets that were lost were loose shots, batsmen getting themselves out, which has probably been a theme of what we've seen so far. But just all around very good cricket, and it was a good partnership by Butler and Libba there. Butler will probably just look to stay in.
Listen, all I'm saying is that Mitch Van Buren is, you know, early on in his career, 24 games, he's already got 578 runs, an average of 34, strike rate of 131, 3 220 He's also got double 100 in a 50-over game. That's who I'd be backing and putting money on.
I mean, he's got a very good future ahead of him, but he's probably, kicking himself right now.
Turns 25 in about a week's time, so still very young. That's who I'd like to see a bit more from. I'd be very frustrated they don't use him enough. I think that he could have been one of the top batsmen in the tournament. That's not even getting it going yet, but
it's quite surprising that they haven't, not necessarily taken a risk as per se, but you know, we've seen Brevis come in. He's only 19 years old. I mean,
yeah,
taking away the opportunity from Buren. I mean, if you just look at the comparisons here at this stage.
Joburg Super Kings was 17 for 4, Paarl Royals are 47 for 2. That's what I said. You know, even if you're going to lose wickets, to be going quite quickly at 47 for 2 at the end of the power play, you're not in a terrible position. Try and pull him from outside there. They can't scamper through the run. It could be. Oh no! It would have been completely gone if it was direct to Donovan Ferreira missing out there.
Surprised Carl Verena didn't get to the stumps a little bit quicker, just to try to cover off that space. Yeah, a good opportunity there.
Definite run out there, potentially missed there. It was miles away, direct hit, and it would have been smiling. You look at this, never really a run. I think very late and a bit of a he just gave up on it to Josh Butler. He come to terms with it. Jonathan Ferreira had plenty of time. He actually probably had more time than he thought he did. Actually, from the other angle, didn't look terribly far away.
I mean, the opportunities have been there for the Super Kings to get some wickets, but unfortunately it just hasn't been taken.
Right, Zari Joseph going to Josh Butler. Oh, that's gone up high. Is there a man in the deep? The round safe.
Yeah, run saved there.
Don Ferreira once again into the game. Wasn't particularly controlled there from Josh Butler. It was a nice short ball from Zari Joseph, which did seem to rise onto Butler. And he kind of sort of just, by the end of it, was pulling it quite well ahead. But didn't look to be as in control as you would have liked.
No, not at all. I mean,
almost off the edge, really.
No, he didn't really expect it. He was very lucky to stay in. Jeez, and that's 50 up there from the Paarl.
Coming in just 6.3 overs.
Good comeback delivery there by Zari Joseph. I mean, as the Joburg Super Kings, what's next? Do they review their batting? Do they review maybe getting like a Joe Kutsia back into the side?
Yeah, I mean it's harsh because I mean you're now looking at you haven't really had a chance to see our bowlers. You know, so I mean for example, Azad Williams has bowled 1 over, went for 12. Is he going to get dropped now? Yeah, and is that fair?
It's harsh, yeah.
But you probably do want to get Gerald Kutsia to the side quite quickly,
especially when you're going up to the high fault and those quicker tracks as well.
Yeah, so at Newlands tomorrow, that's the nice thing about them. They do get to play quite quickly after this. And
Newlands is a bit of a tricky one. I don't like how small the ground is. Very well guided away there.
This is the field there, so an easy single for Butler.
But yeah, the sixes weren't traveling particularly far. I mean, we saw a couple of 60-meter sixes on the short boundary.
I think Brevis have been like 90-meter one. That's absolutely sending him.
Very good pace here by Zari Joseph. I mean, he can put it down, an average of 141 Ks, you know. Surprised he hasn't tried more slower deliveries. I think the pitch is gripping and turning a bit. Surprised no spin so far as well.
Yeah, the no spin has surprised me. I don't think they've got the best spinning lineup. You know, Aaron Pangiso, your only sort of real sort of premier spinner.
I mean, Duplessis used to turn the arm back.
Yeah, Fafa's not spinning. I mean, look, Reza Hendricks will definitely bowl before him, but yeah, I got Donovan Ferreira, who as well seems to be bowling with a spin. But yeah, not too many spinners in the side, and I don't know. We're interested to see that comes to bite them. The fact that they need it. I mean, we saw Weezer Henry putting in almost a man of the match
Yeah,
with the
spun and
ball
off.
on Wednesday. End of the 7th, 51 for 2, trailing by just 31 runs.
At least the crowd is still in good spirits, you know.
Yeah, well, I mean, they're going to get out nice and early, go out and watch a bit of cricket.
So it's lovely on a hot day that they can get out into the sun as well. Beaches are probably going to start packing out as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think across South Africa, we were talking very, very warm weather. Apparently, Cape Town very hot. It's cooking out up here in Joburg.
It always seems to be like this, but Feb is still coming, unfortunately.
Yeah. Right, so interesting to see the bowler will be over here. We had Shepherd in the last over to take a wicket. I wouldn't be surprised if we do see a bit of spin coming in.
I'd love to see some spin.
I'd like to, yeah, and Aaron Pangiso will come into the attack.
Experienced campaigner. It's been on especially the scene in South Africa for many years now. So
I mean, it's interesting. You look at the squad. They just didn't really buy any spinners either because he was a wild card pick, and they brought in Neil Brand, who is I think he's been brought in as potentially a spinner, but
I mean, he doesn't really turn the ball that much, though.
yeah. So the only one is Mahesh Diksana really, who's sort of an attacking spinner, but still hasn't played as of yet. Pangiso lobs it up to Butler. Happy to take a single off the first.
I mean, here comes the frustration now. It's, these singles are just going to accumulate into Pangiso throwing a bad ball, and, a loose boundary is going to be conceded, and further frustration is going to happen. So, if anything, Pangiso just needs to keep his head calm. Hopefully, him and Fafo in somewhat of good communication. Two experienced players, they've played against and with each other for many years.
At the end of the day, just get a couple of wickets if you can. That's the only thing you can do. Try and see if you can get a couple of breakthroughs, get a couple of stats.
At the end of the day, that's what you
execute some plans.
Yeah.
And just a bit of a paddle there, farm Dane Villas down to the fine leg. And he will get back for 2. It's very easy to score at the moment, and they're just slowly but surely ticking off. Less than 30 runs required. They've got to do it in less than 16 overs, which will give them 9 overs still to get those 30 runs.
Well played there. Premeditated shot. I think this is Dan Villas' opportunity to actually, show that he is capable of holding the bat. I think
looking to go hard and hit it straight.
I think if he just stays in, he'll give himself a little bit of confidence, and he'll not let Mitch van Vuuren just waiting there on the side put too much pressure on him, especially going into the latter stage of the tournament.
Pangiso on the third delivery there, and Villas will get himself off the mark. 4 runs from the over so far. Target 82. Yeah, and this is just it's a slow death. I'm kind of almost hoping the Paarl will just come out and start going for it. There's nothing worse than a slow death. 28 runs and 76 balls. The game is long gone. No need to delay the inevitable here.
Pangiso second last ball of the over.
Well, he does go down the track, does Josh Butler. He's carved it out, and Shepherd does very well to cut it off. So it will just be the couple. But a bit of aggression being shown by Josh Butler. I haven't seen too much there. He moves 20 or 15.
For him, he's playing for stats right now. 100%.
He's thinking not Archer.
Not Archer, and I'm set. Good fielding there by Shepherd. It's quite hard. Sometimes the players forget that they have that trailing leg close to the boundary, and they're actually going to concede the 4 runs. Oh, good way to end the over there.
Right. So there, Pangiso going for 6. So the quiet run rate is 2. So the only thing would be to find 8 wickets within the next 30 runs. That's the only chance there is, of which there is next to none.
The only thing they can do now is chip away at it, but no, nothing more from there. Be interesting to see if Lewis Gregory will actually get an opportunity to bowl. I think that was him floating there at fine legs, so he'll probably just
Might
want
as
to-
well.
yeah,
Might as well.
he's probably getting over two just to prepare for the next game.
So Super Kings were 36 for 6 in comparison to 57 for 2. So, yeah, that is the contrast. And it's always good to see that comparison to show you just how poor Joe Super Kings were.
I mean, I think very early on we identified the problem there. Just chose bad shots, and in comparison to now the Paarl Royals, yes, the 2 wickets that have fallen came from bad shots, but it's been better application.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, they've not needed to take risks, and as a result, they haven't taken risks. It's a case of as Lazar Williams comes back into the attack, taking a quick single on the arm.
Oh.
Could have been interesting. Could have been interesting. First over, Lazar Williams going for 12. So he'll want to improve on that.
I mean, I love the intent there by Villas, but also
Yeah,
very
he's
much,
gone. Yeah, he's gone. He's very
putting
much
himself
gone.
under pressure.
He's quite well wide there in the end from the throw, but if he hits, he's gone.
Lewis Gregory there, he's a very handy fielder himself.
Oh, straight over the top from Josh Butler.
Who's got it?
At the 1 bounce 4. We still haven't had a maximum all game.
We've had one from Shepherd, the one that he just glanced
Oh
at.
yeah,
to
true.
find leg, but,
He
nothing,
just pulled it. Yeah.
nothing very close to the
No,
crowd.
no chances for the one-handed catch.
No.
I think it's been the biggest injustice.
And the crowd will be absolutely livid at that.
Yeah, you can see a bit of aggression out from Josh Butler. Worried their strike rate's dipping a little bit. Alright, Williams, Josh Butler, and this time he's carved it over
Oh.
extra cover, picks out the fielder, so it'll just be the single.
I'm glad that Butler's actually going for it now. As you said, there's nothing worse than a slow death.
Yeah,
So
100%.
Yeah.
It's just 20 runs needed now.
I mean, as you can see there at the bottom, just to get the bonus point win after 16 overs. I mean, they're quite comfortable and will get there. Probably looks like he's enjoying himself there on the side.
And now, and let's cross the line there, bit of a slap. Was the best cricket shot, and yeah, at the end of the day, this is going to be the easiest bonus point that I think most teams will pull out. 19 runs and 69 balls. They got to get to the 16th over. They're not even into the 10th.
I mean, a lot of teams will be very shocked at this result as well.
Yeah, I mean, especially the way that Paarl Royals were, I thought, were pretty poor on Tuesday, whereas Joe Super Kings were very impressive after they managed to come back so well with the batting, and then were very good with the ball.
I mean, are we surprised? Again, T20 cricket, anything can happen.
Well, I think the biggest thing, and he's carved it out brilliantly out towards the point. Lazar Williams has been dispatched, and I wouldn't be surprised if we do see maybe Joe Kutse come in, because Lazar Williams has had a chance. He's bowled 1.5 overs. He's gone for 22. He's been very expensive. Hasn't really looked like taking a wicket either. So, yeah, not doing himself a lot of good with his bowling so far. Dan Vilas has helped himself. Trying attempted knuckleball there.
Vilas did very well to get that through the gap as well.
Yeah, he's played it nice and late. Gets a pass point. There's a Williams to finish. And this time he's been pulled.
Ooh.
Should be a man out there. And 68 for 2 after 9. We could be moving into even potentially the last over right now. 50 needed.
Do they take on Pangiso?
Yeah, might as well.
Well, the real question is, are they going to
Peter
get...
told me they're doing a strap break. Oh, come on. A strategic timeout with 15 needed.
What is there to say at this stage of the game?
Nah.
What is there to say? Oh, the crowd is probably just... the crowd is probably thinking this is a waste of our time at this
It's a
point.
waste of my time.
I mean, you've got some editing to do as well, don't you?
I've got stuff to do, people. If I'm not going to watch Joburg Super Kings play well, I've got things I need to get done so that I can drink.
I mean, while we're here in the break, as you said, it's going to be a jam-packed weekend. You're going to be on the air for the next 2 days.
Yeah, so I can tell you exactly what the schedule is. People, if you are looking to see what sport we're in action. So tomorrow we'll be live for Lions taking on Stade Francais at the 3 o'clock with myself. You're then seeing Sharks taking on Bordeaux at 5:15. Mark will be with you for that game. Before Rion is with you for Bulls versus Exeter at 7:30. I'll be back on tomorrow with another Stephen, in fact, at 5:30 for MI Cape Town taking on Joburg Super Kings. And then Sunday we should be live for Sunrise East Cape versus MI Cape Town. We might even be live for the North London Derby. And lots of content coming up in the week as well. So it's a busy weekend of lots of sport and hopefully much better sport than what we've seen here.
Well, we can't say better, at least more competitive.
Not better.
We can just say it's probably like the best time of year as well. You know, the whole of December we had the FIFA World Cup happening, and there's just plenty of sports happening. You know, your day is never boring at this point.
Yeah, I mean, at least there is a lot of sports. So after this, we can go and find something. The next match starting an hour and a half in my Cape Town, taking on Durban Super Giants. Should be a nice clash, actually. Got the TV prep. There's beers on ice there. So hopefully this can be wrapped up so I can get all the work done and you can sit down and really get stuck into some really good cricket a bit later. And Beeks, your plans for the weekend?
Manchester Derby. I have
Yeah,
to vacate the house. My dad's a City supporter and I'm a United supporter, so
I've got a sleeper couch. If things go badly, you just let me know and we can sort you out.
on whose side though?
Hey.
Besides that, no. It's just gonna be, you know, watching the sports. I'll be on YouTube. You know, catching up on Forever Sports as well while I've got the football on, making sure I keep in touch with the rugby. I don't live too far now, so I might as well swing by as well when I have the time.
If it's those Super Kings are playing, you know, I'm doing this game tomorrow, so tomorrow 7 o'clock work for you.
But I mean, yeah, I'm more excited for midweek. The Super Kings will be playing at home.
For
Against,
Capitals.
yeah, so
I
I
might have to make a mission and venture out there.
wouldn't mind. I think, yeah.
Goodness.
I think it will be good to have it will be good weather as well. So it's perfect. Be quiet. Kids will be at school.
Yeah. Francois Pienaar in the stands there. I'm looking on, former World Cup winning captain from 1995. 1945 is probably what the Joburg Super Kings will do tomorrow. And he's gone big. Yes, I don't think he's got all of it, you know. There should be plugs just ahead of Zoe Joseph. So get to where he comes back for the second. But I think it's early time intent. This could very well be wrapped up in this over. 13 required, 5 left in the over, and we go into the 10th.
I mean, to be fair, they had to take him on.
Yeah, and I think we'll see how he goes. He goes down the pet track this time. He's gone all the way, I reckon, this time. This could be a catch in the crowd. No, it's not gone all the way at all. In fact, he's just chipped it to Shepherd. I think got far further up on the bat than we initially thought. It looked pretty well hit.
I think that hit the toe end of his bat and didn't really have much legs.
Yeah, he's picked out Shepherd, who's fielded pretty well so far. Pangiso, the banker. The banker. If there's one person who's going to add to his tally this match, it was always going to be Aaron Pangiso. Just add a couple of wickets there. He's known for having a knack. And I mean, the sad thing is 1 for 8 and 1.2 is a really good spell, and yet
in context of the game, it's
yeah, we needed a 1 for none really.
Very good wicket to get.
I think catch in the end from Shepherd.
He identified that they were probably going to go after him, and you know, it's very good field placing and a very good delivery. Dane Villas is probably going to be very disappointed with himself here. Not much to get.
Mitch from Buren plays the next game. That's what I'm saying. I'm not backing this Dane Villas call. He's had 2 chances now. Hasn't really come off. Dave Miller will just come and.
He doesn't look very pleased with himself as well.
I think he knows. I think they told him, listen, if you don't operate today, you're going to be given a rest.
The crowd looks very excited to get Miller out.
Killer Miller. Miller time.
Will he give the crowd an opportunity?
He has to. At the end of the day, the crowd came to watch cricket, and good cricket. I mean, you look at those stats, and they're 410 T20 matches, 8,995. He will get to 10,000 runs, no doubt about it. He's just 33 years of age, and with his fitness, he can play for another 5 years. A 36.5 average with a strike rate of 139. 43 T20 50s, 400s.
That top score of 120, I mean.
For me, it's the 53 50s. 43 50s.
Consistency.
No, it's childish, actually.
And all the winning innings that he's had in, you know, his career, he's hit them far and he's hit them big.
And let's see what he's going to add to them now. He is on strike 2, Pangiso. What's he going to do first up? Just carves it out towards Shepherd on the boundary, so just the dot. Boo! Here's the boundary.
He's probably just lining himself up, seeing how the pace of the pitch is.
Be aggressive. Go big.
See what Pungiso has for us here in this next delivery.
Oh,
and that's
James
exactly what we
Miller.
were talking
Catch
about.
it it's not going to go all the way to the crowd. It'll go all the way over the boundary, though. He's hot. He's bothered. He's got a beer on ice. He's probably halfway through a castle.
Oh, he was.
And he's like, sit down, idiots, and wanted to thing. Time back to the beverage. He's got a brandy and coke on ice, and he wants to get back to it.
He's probably thinking, just I can get a trip to the wine farm now after this game. I
Yeah,
need to hurry myself up.
he's literally he's phoned Ernie else and said, listen, can I get across to the vineyard if I finish in time? And he's like, be at 4+4, and he's like, right, watch
Yeah,
this.
I've got you.
Watch this. He just waits. It's right. It's in the slot, and he just hammers it away for 6. 9,000 T20 runs. This time he plays a late cut. Should be a man out there in the deep. Gets himself to the other end, and Josh Butler will see out the last ball. 77 for 3. Target of 82. Just 6 remaining. This could be done in one hefty blow if Josh Butler were to decide that he wants to get himself 6 extra runs.
I mean, yeah, all-round good performance, and we must say from the Paarl Royals. Obviously, they'll be disappointed to have lost the wickets that they have, but it's the game of the T20, unfortunately. You don't always retain your wickets at the end of the day, despite the low totals.
Pangiso to Josh Butler. 6 runs remaining. He got the par. He thought about it. I think Pangiso might have a word with him as well. Thought about going all the way.
He knows it as well. I guess he's giving Miller an opportunity to give a crowd something to say cheers to.
Yeah, so 6 of the last. Miller's annoyed. He wanted to go fishing. He's got stuff to do.
Could be thinking of a cheeky 9 right now as well. In the course, it's been a bit of a hot day.
Got tee off. Get yourself. I mean, the sun goes down at what 7, 8 o'clock now.
Yeah.
You can definitely get 9 holes in.
No, but looking at the 6 here, right in the arc.
Bang. I mean, it's the worst possible place to bowl today. But he's not going to miss out on that.
Because you almost wish that he muscled that more through so he could get to the crowd.
Yeah, poor crowd hasn't had one single chance at a catch a million. Now, just for shits and giggles, Lewis Greggy will get over here. And as we go into the 11th, Paarl Royals needing just 6 runs. Sorry, 5 runs in fact. No, 6 runs.
Quick maths.
So Joe Speaking's finished on 81. I keep thinking it's finished on 82. So it is 5 runs. Lewis Gregory to Dave Miller. You'll get a single in the first, down to 4 runs.
I'm sure Miller had a quick word with Butler there as he ran past. Finish this for us, please.
Yeah, come on. The clubs are ready to go. They've been loaded onto the golf cart as we speak.
Running out of time right now. I'm going to miss my appointment.
I reckon you can play 9 holes, get a bit of late night fishing in, and have a couple of brandies with the way that this is going.
One foul swoop.
And we're still well over an hour until the next game begins. Probably drive to Cape Town and turn off. They might go watch it. Actually,
they might as well.
They can get to units. They might be thinking. Around the Joburg Super Kings, I'm thinking, chaps, we're playing in that ground tomorrow. Let's book in there and watch it. See what's happening. Right, 4 remaining. Gregory 2, Josh Butler. That's a very, very well bowled. I think it's a slow ball bouncer, and Butler's completely missed out on that.
Butler's probably thinking, I'm ready to leave this game.
Yeah, Lewis Gregory saying, hey, look at me. I'm gonna annoy these guys for a bit.
As we've been waiting for, could be the last delivery of the innings.
He goes over the top. Has he got all of it? Has he got all of it? Yeah, there's nobody else out there. Faf Super C is giving chase, but the ball wins the race. And the Paarl Royals storm to a 7-wicket bonus point victory. And at the end of the day, never really had to play particularly well to do that, is it?
No, to them at all. I mean, they did everything right. You know, they were helped by the fact that the Super Kings did, give them a lot of the wickets that they got. But at the end of the day, you have to take your opportunities when they come. And they executed this performance very well in front of their home crowd. The owners look very happy. The crowd has been very happy the whole afternoon. And Miller's probably thinking, yeah, I can get my round in now.
Yeah, to the golf course. People, thank you very much for joining us. It wasn't particularly long stream. It wasn't as entertaining as we'd like it to be. JSK just didn't pitch up today, and I'll be hoping for a much improved performance tomorrow. Please do join us tomorrow for that game. Until then, please do keep safe. Please do keep well. Check out the channel for a lot of live streams this weekend. I'll see you guys. Catch you guys all on the stream. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.